Hello everyone, this is Glitch. How's it going? Tonight is Wildcard Wednesday? Is that what we're going with? I think that's what I'm going with. We are continuing the campaign for Shadowrun Hong Kong, which is fucking awesome. I mean, that kind of goes without saying. But yes. So, for those who are wondering, insofar as a quick review, what happened in the last stream which was last Thursday, I think it was that time. What happened was my character was called back to, I see you there, volume. Can't do that with that one because I'll just be... Alright, so my my character, Marisol, went and... Well... wow. So she had this mentor figure, and a foster father, basically. That's what she keeps referring to him as. And she and her friend, her foster brother, basically were called to help him with something. It was a somewhat cryptic message, and he got killed. And in the process, they are being implicated as sort of, I guess, a terrorist group, effectively. So she had to burn her sin, and so did her foster brother. So, yeah, and also there was a period of time where she was in prison and all of that. But anyway, she's newly SINless. She is now indebted to a woman who works for, I think, one of the triads. And yeah. So that was a great review, wasn't it? Yeah. Okay, so let's see. Hopefully, yeah, new game. Let's go do that. Let's continue, rather. Oh, I didn't remember that. Anyway, it's hard to shake off the walled city. Its gravity clings to you as if wretchedness itself had grown tentacles. The sounds of suffering subside, but the echoes still thrum your insides. Isabel walks quickly, regularly checking over her shoulders as if expecting pursuit from the buildings themselves. She hugs her cyberdeck to her chest as if protecting a small child. Wu pauses a moment and breathes a sigh of relief when you finally reach the streets. But returning to Hoi isn't like coming home. Suspicious looks and closed mouths accent unsmiling faces that billboard a universal message. You don't belong here. Time to report back to Kindly Cheng and inform her that the message has been delivered. And get this business over with. And get your sin burn. Get on to the next step, whatever that is. You leave the City of Darkness behind, head into the Mahjong parlor, and a date with the crime lord. That part's already been done. So we've already talked to her. We've told her we delivered the message. Yeah. So she sent us to bed. And we have our base of operations, which is this boat, actually. So that's kind of cool. And there's some guy in the lower deck of the boat. Yep. Yep. Alright. So I had said I was going to actually... Yeah, like her handle is Spark. Ah, look! Her stash! There's her bonk. There's Duncan. That's, Duncan is her foster brother. Oh, that's upstairs. Hey, Cop This, how's it going? There's the hatch. There's Isabel. And there's Gobbet. Okay, so let's actually go through our dialogue options with everyone. First, let's talk to our foster brother, right? Right, that's important. Excellent! Good to hear. Hey, Marisol, I got some things I gotta take care of here. Let's talk later. Got some things you need to take care of? We just moved here. I guess, like, that's what you need to take care of? This is Shadowrun Hong Kong. It is a... Well, now I want to... It's like a turn-based strategy kind of thing, and I forget. I have apparently forgotten all of my words today, so everyone get used to me just saying things in bizarre ways that make no sense, and, yeah. But, I enjoy it. It's set in the Shadowrun universe, if you're familiar with that, which is this universe, it's where the characters are now in the 6th world. Our setting would be more like the 5th world, but it's a similar type of game, actually. You know, where you have, like, action points for rounds and all of that, and you can attack and all of that. I would say that this is more streamlined than the first Fallout. But it's a similar type of, it's the same, I wouldn't call it the same genre of game because that's slightly misleading. It's the same type of game. But rather than it being in this post-apocalyptic setting, what this is a sort of cyberpunk future, except also with magic. So what happens is the 6th world is created when everyone... Yes, it is. It's very shiny that way, too. The 6th world is sort of... Imagine your William Gibson-y cyberpunk future, except magic and elves and trolls and orcs and so on and so forth. And my dwarven decker. Go, go, go. Come back later, Spark. Come back later, Spark. I'm busy. Got it. They're all busy. No one wants to talk to me. Hey, Seattle, I'm not really in the mood to hang out right now. Heavy stuff going down, you know? It'll be fine, but for the time being, I'd rather be alone. We'll talk later, though. Fine. Oh my god, look, it's a rat! She's a rat shaman. So, I got excited. But yeah, a while back, there was a version of this game that, like, a while back. And then Harebrained Schemes created Shadowrun Returns. I wouldn't call it a trippy Fallout. Because again, like Fallout, insofar as its sort of setting, it's I mean, both kind of at this point are retro-futuristic, but Fallout is kind of this post-apocalyptic future that is kind of set where the apocalypse is kind of frozen in the 1950s, whereas this is more futuristic, and the future of this one is more... Actually, this is kind of interestingly updated. I have this whole ramble about like how cyberpunk is interestingly kind of retro in some ways. Intentional or otherwise. Okay, fine, whatever. Firm. I need to buy some stuff. The cot in your cabin is neatly made with crisp-looking sheets and an insulated plastic blanket. A fine layer of dust coats its surface. It's been a long time since anybody slept here. Yeah. Well, time for us to go to sleep and wake up tomorrow. You climb into the cot and worm your way under the sheets. They've been starched stiff as boards, but you've slept beneath worse. The lice and bedbugs that plagued your old prison cell are mercifully absent here. Oh my god, bedbugs suck, by the way. And the salt air is fresher than the rancid stink of the Redmond Barrens. Yeah, I'm on a boat. The moment your head hits the pillows, exhaustion sets in. You can... Wishful thinking. The moment your head hits the pillow, exhaustion sets in. You can barely keep your eyes open. Sleep washes over you like a warm bath, and everything goes black. I can't read either, so this is going to be entertaining. I do a lot of reading for this game. Oh my god! Thank you! Thank you so much for that cheer. That is awesome and amazing. And again, thank you so very much. Well, yay! It really does mean a lot. It helps me a lot, you guys. So I just like wanted you to know that. Never ever feel pressured to, but I just wanted to say thank you and that I appreciate it. Yeah. Also, apparently weird nightmares. Also, somehow I had forgotten that chat wasn't there, so I apologize for that part. The dream is suffocating. The shifting tunnel of glass and steel, the towering silhouette of dark majesty. Thank you. The shadowy doorway and the teeth. They snap at your heels as you claw your way back to consciousness. Oh, hello. Is that from before? Because she was in jail, but like we don't get full details on why. Or is that some sort of premonition? You open your eyes to Duncan looming over you. He shakes your shoulder roughly. Marisol, come on. Come on, Marisol, wake up. We gotta talk to Kindly. The others have already left. What's your problem, Duncan? That was one rough night. And was I drooling? I'm going with was I drooling. He lets go of your shoulder and smirks. You were sucking your thumb pretty hard. I miss my blanket. He looks around the room. Yeah, I miss a lot of things. Then he cocks his thumb at the hatch. We gotta go. I've been trying to wake you for a while now. You were thrashing around in your sleep. Glad you did. I was having... Okay, was that thrashing around? Thanks, let's get going. We don't want to keep a mob boss waiting. Glad you did. I was having one hell of a nightmare. Let's ask. Yeah, you were clawing at the air. Clawing, huh? Did I say anything? Nah, you just mumbled a bit. Nothing I can make out. I didn't sleep well either. Bad dream. What about? Shrugs. He shrugs. I never remember my dreams all that well. It was probably motion sickness, not used to sleeping on a boat. I woke up a little while ago and hit the head. Then I came back and woke you. You doing okay? I'll survive. His fingers hit in a knot. He winces. But, man, nothing's gone right since we stepped foot into this country. I'll tell you something, though. And this is after a full night's sleep. I don't believe Ray's dead. He's dead, Duncan. You heard the news reports. You saw the surveillance footage. I hope you're right, but I gotta say, it doesn't look good. What makes you say that? Think about it. That statement from the cops on the newscast could be fake. Ours was. And that surveillance footage? We never saw Raymond get shot. The camera was hit by stray gunfire. His passion is intense, but contained. Focused. Raymond is alive, Marisol. I know it. You make a good case, Officer Wu. What do you want to do now? Raymond is dead, Duncan. We need to accept that and move on. No. You make a good case, Officer Wu. He smiles. His teeth are white and straight and perfect. Should have been a detective instead of a headbuster, right? His smile fades. God, I feel like I'm 12 years old again, squatting on a stinking trawler. My partner's gone. Raymond's gone. Hell, I'm gone. I don't even have a name anymore. And now I can't even go to sleep and hide from it all without having a nightmare. His jaw tightens and his teeth grind so loud you can hear it. What else is going to be taken away from me? You still have that piercing you got in Tacoma? Hold it together, Duncan. Nothing. It's time for us to turn the tables, do some taking of our own. I'm here, Duncan, and I'm not going anywhere. You still got that piercing? You still have that piercing you got in Tacoma? I had to drop that. Hygiene issues. Wu struggles to smile. He fails. What the hell did we fall into here, Marisol? I mean, what's coming next? Is it not obvious? Look around. We're SINless, living in the shadows, dealing with criminals. I don't know, but whatever it is, we'll deal. Now, as I was mentioning before, this character, Duncan, is my foster brother, and there's some sort of indication that, like, when we were growing up together, he was a bit more of a loose cannon, and that my character actually helped keep him steady. With everything that's gone on, he has actually, like, sort of pulled me aside to sort of be like, look, I don't know if I can handle what's going on right now, so I might need you to, like, you know, help me out and help me deal with this. So that's one of the things that I'm trying to focus on, is, like, keeping an eye on his emotional state. Because it could end up poorly if I don't, for all I know. Anyway, he drops his head to his hands to his hips and takes a couple of deep breaths. That's right. That's right. It's like Ray always said. Shut up, Duncan, and let Marisol do the talking. Life is improvisation. When the winds of change blow, some people build walls, others build windmills. I'm going to skip the first one. Either of the two feel like they could work. I like life as improvisation. Yeah. He chuckles, finally. Raymond liked to talk in bumper stickers. We drift off for a minute, the curl of a smile surrounding his tusks. Then his head dips a bit and his smile fades. He draws a ragged breath. Whatever. He checks his watch. Gobbet and Isabel left a while ago. We should get going, too. See what that triad lady has to say. Alright. Time for us to go meet Kindly Chang. And find out what... I forgot how to do this. That's how. Already I forgot the controls. Ooh. So, yes. That's bolt hole. Is there anything in the bolt hole? I can't remember. Oh, wait. No. There's like text though. The original name has been sloppily painted over with black paint. Newer but somewhat weathered characters have been painted in bold brushstrokes and read bolt hold. BBs? BBS? Be back soon? See you in a bit. Take care. The Mahjong parlor. Yeah, that's where I actually need to go. Oh. I'm having trouble telling what's orange and what's not because I have something which is red tinting things. So let me fix that. I have no idea whether or not that was affecting you guys either, but that makes things much clearer for me. Alright, let's go to the Mahjong parlor. Oh, hello. This is new. Hi, everyone. Did I interrupt something? Hi, Kindly. Objective complete. Kindly's place reeks of stale cigar smoke and fresh urine. The clicking of mahjong tiles is strangely absent. In its place is a low murmur of laughter and an air of eager anticipation. All eyes are focused on the groaning figure kneeling bloody and bound at the feet of Kindly Chang. Oh dear. She beckons him with her finger and he struggles toward her, the loud rustling of the plastic tarp crackling under his knees as he moves. His pants are wet with fear. An acetylene torch lies on the table at Chang's right hand. Kindly Chang ignores the scene. She behaves as if all is right with the world. How did you sleep, my little ones? Like a baby, Auntie. I'm still in the afterglow of our tour of the walled city. Not too well, Auntie Chang. I had a bad dream. Fine, thanks. What's with the guy on the floor? Who's this guy? I'm curious. She indicates the kneeling man with an incline of her nose. Shitbird here is a plainclothes cop. He snuck into the area last night while you were sleeping, hoping to find you and kill you before his competition got to you first. My men found him outside the trawler you were sleeping on. They saw to it that your rest was undisturbed and that your location remained a mystery. She nods her head back towards the pillar of meat standing behind her. You can thank Mr. Bao for that. Nod to Strangler Bao, ignore him. Thank you for guaranteeing our safety, Mr. Bao. So, you're the night watchman now, buddy? Thanks. I'm just gonna nod to him because what is going on? Bao inclines his head. 1/4 of an inch. Ah. See, I had my ruler out. Good to know. She addresses the bloody man on his knees. Now, Shitbird, tell my friends here what you told me. I don't know anything, I swear. We just got the orders in last night. He pushes his head towards you and Wu from the floor, struggling to keep his balance. Somebody high up wants these two dead. The whole department is on it. I don't know anything else. Someone from high up? The old woman lifts her foot, taps his chin with the toe of her shoe. How high? The cop looks up at her. looks around the room filled with triad soldiers. One of them opens his coat and shows the cop something inside. He closes it slowly and winks. The cop drops his head to his chest. All the way up. It's someone on the council. Someone on the executive council wants these two dead? Chang spits on him with a sneer. Fuck your ancestors to the 18th generation. Give me the truth. The cop wears the spittle. He never lifts his head. It's the truth, madam, I swear it. Whoever it was, label them as terrorists. We're to terminate with extreme prejudice. Kindly Chang shuffles closer to the kneeling cop, reaches down and strokes his head with her hand. Then she slowly digs her fingers into scalp. She pulls back hard until his chin points high. The triad boss leans in close and searches his eyes with her own. That's all he's got. She lets go of his head and smooths his buzzed-cut hair with her hand. For whatever reason, last night, someone on the Executive Council of the Free Enterprise Zone ordered the Hong Kong police force to kill 2 nobodies from Seattle. I find that fascinating. Don't you? Not really. Corporations can just order the cops to kill people here? Yes, but why the need to label us international terrorists? I call that some messed up shit. I'm inclined to call it some messed up shit. But I am interested in this part. Like, why? She strokes the policeman's cheek with the back of her hands. Her rusty voice becomes sweet as she explains the ways of the world. Propriety, my darling. When the government has someone gunned down, they prefer to make it appear justified. People feel safer when their murders feel like part of civilization. My, but you have definitely fallen into the deep end of the pool. Seattle isn't like Hong Kong. There, the megacorps control the government. Here, the megacorps are the government. The Executive Council is chosen by the Corporate Board of Governors. They're basically the legislative and executive branches of the Hong Kong government in one tiny package. 8 people call all the shots. Neat and efficient. Kindly Chang steps back from the cop and lights one of her thin black cigars. For the wage slaves and civilian sheep, the corporations are a pantheon of gods who wield absolute power. She looks around the room. But not for us. The triad woman takes a long pull from her cigar and taps her ash on the kneeling cop's head. Who else knows about my guest's visit to Hoi, shitbird? No one, madam. I hadn't called it in yet. I wanted the kill for myself. No one knows they're here, I swear it. He's dead, guys. He's dead. He is absolutely dead. He has got to make himself useful in like 5 seconds. Or she's gonna kill him, like, right now. There's an acetylene torch. And... She turns to her enforcer. Mr. Bao? Bao fiddles with the PDA in his meaty hands. He's telling the truth. No outgoing calls on his PDA. Wait. I was pretty sure that he was... I don't remember saying if insofar as killing. Very good. Thank you, Bao. She nods at the cop. Thank you for your honesty. In one smooth motion... Yep, there we go. In one smooth motion, Strangler Bao produces a silenced pistol, fires it once into the policeman's head, and replaces it in his jacket. His face never changes expression. Looks like the triads can be just as efficient. I was wondering what we were going to do with him. What the hell? That was a cop. Okay. I'm gonna go with that one. Looks like the triads can be just as efficient. It kind of indicates that my character knows her place in this situation, which is, yes, you're big too. Duncan might be upset with I was wondering what we were going to do with him. What the hell, that was a cop, as much as that might vindicate Duncan. I'm not so sure I want to go for that. So, looks like the triads can be just as efficient. It's a backhanded compliment. Cheng takes another drag in her cigar. Yes, my darling. She balances her cigar in her shot glass, picks up some mahjong tiles, and begins playing with them absently. It is clear our friend Raymond Black was up to something involving the walled city. Something having to do with prosperity. And this executive council member wanted Raymond dead for it. She stacks her tiles one by one. Click, clack. Now, they want you dead for it too. Click. This plastic-faced man may show up on your door one day too. She knocks the pile over and it clatters on the table loudly. I have a proposal for you, my sweets. A smile lights up her dead black eyes. Work for me. That's what I figured was going to happen. With Nightjar and Gutshot dead, I find myself with 2 job openings. Fill them. I have need of deniable assets here. Players unaffiliated with the triads who can take care of some of the more unsavory business needs about town. You've proven yourselves resourceful, and you have no existing connections here. That can be positive in this line of work. This line of work sounds dangerous. And Shadowrunners. You want Shadowrunners. You're saying you want Shadowrunners. I'm going to go with that one. Hey, welcome back. Who grunts? His jaw tightens, but he stays quiet. Chill, Duncan. In exchange, I will keep you safe from pests like this one. She nods at the body on the floor. The pool of blood on the plastic wrap continues to widen. You'll have safe harbor here in my town, and a steady source of income. She picks up a handful of tiles again. And while you dip your toe into the waters of corporate espionage, organized crime, and clandestine mercenary actions, I will employ my network to find the plastic-faced man and gather information about Raymond Black, where he's been, who he's talked to, who stood to gain from his death, and what this prosperity could be. What's in it for you? You're putting out a lot of effort to help a pair of foreigners. All right. No, both are basically the same message. I'm trying to figure out which tone is most appropriate. Hey, thank you for the follow, Maka432. And welcome to the stream. All right, so let's see. You're putting out a lot of effort to help a pair of foreigners. Not foreigners, my sweet. Valued business associates. I need to learn who killed one of my clients and then ordered the cops to execute my team of Shadowrunners. Her voice drops and she becomes deadly serious. This is a brazen disregard of my power. Fate dictates it must be confronted, or I stand to lose everything. How would the arrangement work? We're Westerners. Isn't that a liability in this business? We need to find out who killed Raymond and why. Okay, so how would the arrangement work? I find the right jobs for people with your talents. You do what our clients cannot do for themselves. I take a finder's fee and a small percentage of your earnings. You make a lot of nuyen very quickly. It's all very civilized. She leans in. Work with me. Allow me to help you make money. Let my network work for you and help you find out what you've gotten yourselves into. Without my help, you won't last a day out there. You are completely out of your depth, I'm afraid. You need a partner. Kindly Cheng will be your partner. Wu shakes his, Wu's hands go to his hips. He drops his head and shakes it a little confused. I gotta wrap my brain around this, Marisol. Things are moving fast. There's a lot to process. Think about it, Duncan. This gives us freedom to find out what happened to Ray. You had to see this, Duncan. I did. Come on, Wu. You and me on the streets together again. This will give us the freedom to find out what happened to Ray. Freedom is a very, very strong word in this context. You had to see this coming. I did. That's not gonna help. Come on. We can do this. I know. I get it. I just gotta reconcile this whole... He grips the back of his neck, squeezes hard, rips his hand away. Fuck it. I'm not a cop anymore. That guy's dead. He nods, the decision made. I'm in. What about you? I'm in too. I didn't have anything back home anyway. There's good money in the shadows. It's about time I cashed in. I'm in until I can clear my name and get the hell out of Hong Kong. I'm gonna find out who killed Raymond. Someone's got to pay. I think Raymond's still alive too. Let's run the shadows and figure out what happened to him. Let me be supportive of his thoughts. Raymond is alive, I'm sure of it. So I'll run the shadows as long as Auntie Cheng keeps up her end of the bargain and helps us figure out what really happened to him. Then I'm gonna find my father. Then it's done. Hoi is now open to you. She gestures to her lieutenant, who raises a finger to her ear and whispers into her sleeve. First order of business. Spark here has already chosen a street name. She turns her attention to Wu. But Dunk and Wu don't exist anymore. You'll need one too. Dunk, Wu sighs. Yeah, okay, I'll think of something. She already has one. Like, everyone's been saying that already. Gobbet rubs her cheek against her rats, a glint in her eye. I think we've already got you covered, Gunshow. She turns to Isabel. Fits, doesn't it? Indeed. I knew that was gonna stick. It has stuck. Gobbet, Isabel, we'll handle this the same way we did with all your previous work. She didn't say Nightjar. We'll get to it. There's story going on as well. Oh, and to clarify, the way that this is set up, so with Shadowrunning in general, it is not always ideal to just go run through and kill everything. There'll be different ways to handle situations, including social interactions, compromising security systems in order to HSK? Compromising security systems. There are like all sorts of ways we can kind of like get around it, because part of it is that we're going to be, as she was saying, corporate espionage, basically a lot of super futuristic heists. Yeah, that is not so much what this is. It can be kind of, but that can also end very poorly for you if you don't play your cards right in this game. You end up, if that is the only tactic you take, you can end up in situations where, one, you get paid less, among other things, and two, you just kind of end up dead. She didn't say Nightjar. All the jobs I line up for you will be sent to your computer on the squad boat. She's pointing at you. I got it. My computer? I'm not the leader type. It's not... It's very, very setting appropriate. Why me? Okay, I got it. Duncan, really? Why her? It's a simple process of elimination. She points to the little Decker. Isabel isn't the leader type. You got that right. She moves her finger to the orc girl. As for Gobbet, let's just say Gobbet doesn't have a head for business. Not my thing. She rests her finger on Wu. And then there's Gunshow. She wiggles it. The jury's out on Mr. Gunshow. Meaning? Her response is direct, straightforward. Meaning, there's a lot going on within that head of yours right now, and I'm not sure I can trust you. So, I'm in charge because I'm the best of the worst? Gunshow will be fine, trust me. Jury's out on me too, Duncan. You're a raw nerve, and I'm gonna have to keep an eye on you. Okay, wait. So, I'm in charge because I'm the best of the worst? Oh, my sweet, don't put it that way. She opens her arms. You're the most equipped for the role. She's making sense. You're the right person for this, Marisol. Okay, then. Guess I'm running the show. I had a handle back in the Barrens. Spark. Guess it's time I dust it off. Addersoloid doesn't exist anymore. Call me Spark. Okay, then. Guess I'm running the show. Wu shakes his head, eyebrows raised. Gonna be weird calling you Spark again. Haven't called you that since we were kids. Gobbet looks from Isabel to Wu to you. I guess this is our new crew. The rat on her shoulder scurries to the top of her head for a better view. Welcome to the shadows, Spark. Alright. Let's activate the mission computer. Crew advancement available. As you lead your team through the shadows, your companions will continue to develop and learn new combat skills. Clicking the icon in the lower right-hand corner of the screen will open the crew advancement menu. When this icon is highlighted, one or more of your companions is eligible to learn a new combat skill. At each advancement level, you may choose one of two possible combat skills for each of your runners. Choose wisely. Which often results in me not choosing at all. Alright, so Gobbet, what do you have? A level 2, territoriality, skill, ranged combat. Gobbet spends some more time at the firing range, increasing her ranged combat skill and her submachine gun specialization by 1. Spiritualist, augmentability, spirit control. Spirits will never break away in the first 2 rounds after summoning them. You know what? I'm gonna go with that. Are you sure that you want to confirm these selections? This action cannot be undone. Actually, before we do that, let's just wait on that one. Okay. Sabotage. Augment weapon. Mini launcher. Isabel's grenade launcher can now fire remote mines, which can be triggered to detonate at will. Espionage. Isabel gains the Tar Blaster 1.0 program, an upgraded version of Blaster that also sticks enemies in place for 1 round. Okay. Integrated tactical computer marks weak opponents with points in opponent's armor. Targets armor by 1. Boost program. Espionage. If the user is brought into a stunned state, they will be jolted awake with 1 P. While Isabel is jacked into the matrix, attacks on her physical body are reduced by 3 damage. Okay. Steady shot. Mini launchers now packed with napalm charges. That is not what I'm going to be doing, though. They each like take on different roles, and if I do that, then I'm going to end up losing the advantage of their different roles. She's my decker, and she is so far the only decker on the team, so I do need her to be proficient at decking. This is my shaman. She is the only shaman on the team. She's the only one who does magic, period, on the team at the moment. And then there's Duncan. Now, Duncan, I can set up to blow shit up. But the others, not so much. And I mean, one could theoretically build up your team to just sort of do it that way, but I don't really want to. Crowd control. Gain ability Underslung Beanbag. Duncan gains a rifle ability that does 2 AP damage and imbalances targets, making them easier to hit on subsequent attacks. This ability cannot do critical damage. Cooldown 2. Firepower round. Duncan gains an assault rifle ability that fires a single shot of incendiary ammo. Does an additional 2 damage and pierces up to 2 armor. Cost 1 AP. Cooldown 2. See, because I do like crowd control. Subdue. His cooldown reduced from 3 to 2 rounds. No, it's not what I want to do. So, nah. And again, it's not necessarily going to be really going the whole hog. If I do it that way, I am going to set myself up for some trouble later on. And it's going to be kind of silly to do that considering my character is set up to be a street samurai. So she has augments and she does a lot of melee and physical damage and stuff like that. As such, she doesn't have the same tools that these other characters have. So if I do it that way, then they're going to become redundant. Now, I like... Uses 2 damage imbalances targets, making them easier to hit. Crowd control, modded flashbang. Duncan standard equipment now includes a new flashbang that has a larger AoE. Crowd control. Every 2 hits. Duncan gains consumable item, gas grenade. So those are all his crowd control stuff. Do I want this? Oh my god! Holy shit. Oh my god, thank you. Seriously, thank you so much. I'm processing. Give me a moment. Thank you. Thank you very much. That was an incredibly generous donation. Holy shit. Wow. So, yes. Thank you. Getting all emotional. Yeah. Nothing's wrong. I'm fine. I'm just like floored. I'm appreciative. That's all. Don't worry, I'm not like sobbing or anything. Not yet. Anyway. Let's see. Spirit control. Alright. What I'm going to do is not choose right now. I can do that pretty much whenever. And I want to see where their strengths and weaknesses lie insofar as stuff like how much trouble are we gonna have? Like, how likely is it? How often? Indeed. Okay, that's the hatch. Oh, wait, is that to, like, go downstairs? Okay, wait. There's my stash. Where's my computer? Okay. First off, Isabel. You got something to say? Isabel's cabin is an exercise in controlled chaos. Her living space is utterly dominated by an enormous jury-rigged computer. Serpentine cables snake from component to component, tying dozens of obsolete terminals and cyberdecks together into a single colossal machine. This is my personal machine. If you're looking for your mission computer, it's downstairs. She doesn't bother looking up. You can see that she's elbow deep in guts of an obsolete cybertech. One of a half dozen that have been wired into her computer with braided cables. Actually, I was hoping to talk to you. Got a second? Yeah, I've seen it. I like this better. I'll go to it then. Actually, I was gonna go talk to you for a second. There's a long pause. Then she chirps out a response. We're talking now, aren't we? I guess so, yeah. Can I ask you a few questions? You want to crawl out of that computer and talk with me face to face? You must be pretty absorbed by what you're doing, huh? Yeah, that one. I'm curious about what you're doing. Yeah, sorry. This is a delicate process and you're interrupting me in the middle of it. We can talk, but you're gonna have to be okay with me doing this at the same time. Let me ask you a few questions then. She leans in, scrutinizing the innards of the obsolete deck. Go ahead. I'm not stopping you. Have you been having weird dreams lately? That's quite a machine you're working on. Care to tell me about it? All right. Have you been having weird dreams lately? Her body goes still. Yes. I think that everybody has. Me too. I've been having horrible nightmares. I was just curious, not trying to make a big deal out of it. You want to tell me what your dream was about? No, not particularly. I don't remember much anyway. I've gotten good at forgetting things related to that place. Slowly, she begins rummaging through the guts of the obsolete cyberdeck again. I'm not interested in talking about my dreams, Spark. I just want to work on my computer in peace. That's quite a machine you're working on. Care to tell me about it? She's my pet project. I call her the Octopus. She waves a hand at the tangle of thick power cables that radiate out from the machine's central core. You might be able to guess why. Did you do all of this yourself? Impressive work. How well could you build me one? How well does it perform? She's a monster. She yanks a fried chip from the deck's motherboard and neatly sets it aside, then fumbles in a nearby bin for replacement. An absolute beast. What is this thing made of? Whatever I can find. Busted terminals, obsolete cyberdecks, aftermarket memory from Maximum Law's dumpster. Scavengers would kill for this stuff in the walled city, but out here, people throw it away. She chuckles to herself as she eases a card into an empty expansion slot. Most deckers are early adopters. They buy whatever's newest, shell out huge amounts of Nuyen in hopes of riding the bleeding edge. Stupid. It's an arms race. Deckers do what they have to do. Or why? Because I can have 5 of last year's model for a quarter of the price of the Wiz's new cyberdeck. That Wiz new cyberdeck. And after I finish daisy chaining them together, the machine that I've built will run circuits around your hot new deck. Yeah, and you'll need a flatbed truck to carry it. Makes sense to me. Can you teach me how to do that? Got a couple of years to sit here and learn? Frowning, she yanks a stick of memory from the old deck. I can give you tips here and there, Spark, but really learning how to do this takes time that we don't have. Time and desperation and a need to make do with what you've got. What about portable gear? Your cyberdeck software and that kind of thing. Okay. And by the way, part of the reason I'm doing this is if I play my cards right with them socially, I do also get like a mission with them, and it can change things. It gets the job done. Might not be top of the line, but I'm comfortable using it in the field. If you should happen to come across any more advanced software, hardware or software, either on the job or on the discount rack at Law's Techno Palettes, I'm not above taking donations, but barring that, I'm fine with using what I've got. Your call. You talk about the ambush at Victoria Harbor? I'd rather not. I lost friends there. Alright. You didn't seem too torn up about it at the time. Sorry, I didn't mean to pry. Duncan and I didn't come out of the attack unscathed either. They shot... I don't care about Carter. Sorry, didn't mean to pry. You don't have to apologize. Just change the subject. She returns her attention to the octopus, turning her back on you. You don't like talking about things other than your computer very much, do you? There's a long pause. Aw, Dito, I hurt her feelings. Fuck, sorry. There's a long pause before she responds. When she does, she sounds vaguely hurt. I prefer not to. Nothing personal, it's just the way that I am. If you say, though, you should learn to speak up. Nope, none of those we're doing. There's nothing wrong with that. I just want to know who I'm running with, don't you? Yes, you're still a mystery to me. There's a long pause. I don't like mysteries, but I do enjoy solving them. She turns, gives you her full attention. So here's what we're going to do. I'm going to ask you a question, something personal. After you've given me an answer, you get to ask me something. Think of it like a game of questions. We take turns until one of us wants to quit. Deal? Deal. You go first. Ask away. She studies your face. We'll start off easy. Tell me what you really think of about Duncan. I love and respect the man. He's family. He can be a pain in the ass, but he's like a brother to me. We're old friends who drifted apart, that's all. He was a means to an end back in the Barrens. Now he's just irritating. I don't have any feelings about him one way or the other. He can be a pain in the ass, but he's like a brother to me. Interesting. Her eyes flit to the doorway of Gobbet's cabin. The corner of her mouth tilts upward into a slight smile. And a little familiar. Well, you've answered my question. I guess that makes it your turn. How did you and Gobbet meet? Where did you learn to deck? You grew up in the walled city, right? Tell me about that. No, let's not with that. How long have you been running the shadows with Gobbet? And how did you and Gobbet meet? One or the other. How did you and Gobbet meet? Her brow furrows, and after a moment she screws her eyes shut. We met as kids in the walled city. My prison was her playground. Did I touch a nerve? You okay, Isabel? I'm sorry if that was uncomfortable for you. I'm going to check in on her. So there's 2 ways to check in. I'm going to go with this one. It's a bit more her style. Of course I'm okay. I'm fine. She shifts her gaze to the octopus. I have a hard time remembering those days. My childhood is kind of a blur. And that would make it my turn. She pauses, considering. So, tell me, what was your connection to Raymond Black? He was like a father to me and Duncan. He got us out of the Barrens. He was a rich old man who wanted to buy the gratitude of some street kids. I accepted. He was my benefactor and mentor. I respected him. He was like a father to me and Duncan. Smoko! In that case, I'm sorry for your loss. Losing the ones that you love is hard. Your turn. Ask me a question and I'll give you an answer. How long have you been running the shadows with Gobbet? That's a good question. I guess about 4 years now? A decent stretch by anyone's reckoning. And that brings us back to my turn. She gestures at the cabin walls around you. You enjoy it, don't you? Living like this? Working the shadows. Yeah, Raymond Black was wrong. This is what I was born to do. No, I left this shit behind when Raymond pulled me out of the Barrens. I want my old life back. This is survival. I do what I have to. Enjoyment doesn't come into it. Well, she wasn't even SINless, so I'm just going to go with this is survival. Wait. Torn. I'm gonna go with this. She blinks. We may have more in common than I thought. Your turn again. Go ahead. Ask me something. Where did you learn to deck? The Whampoa. I lived there for a while after escaping the walled city. The people there were difficult. We didn't get along, but it was a great place to learn. My turn again. Her head tilts as if she studies your face. And I think my last question for you. You're stuck here, marooned. You and Duncan both. He's obviously unhappy with the situation. He keeps going on about the things that he left behind, but what about you? Is there anything that you want to get back to? Nothing worth mentioning. Truth be told, I'm enjoying the change of scenery. Yeah, I left something important behind. My entire life. Lie. My friends, my career, everything I had worth caring about. I like that one. It was like, lie. Nothing worth mentioning. Nothing? There isn't anything about your old life that you miss? I don't know whether to envy you or feel sorry for you. She glances down at her deck, and an antique model with a physical hand that looks like it was wrenched out of a submarine. With physical hands. A frown spreads across her face. Shit, it's even later than I thought. I've still got a long way to go before the octopus is fixed. She begins to turn away, her attention fixed on the stack of partially disassembled cyberdecks arrayed in front of her. Hang on, Isabel, you still owe me another question. Aren't you forgetting something? She stops in place, fidgets. That's true. Go ahead. I need you to tell me what you can about the walled city. Her voice goes cold. Why? Because Raymond Black wanted to go in there, and somebody destroyed my life to keep him from doing that. Why do you think that hellhole is getting into our heads, influencing our dreams? Because I visited the place, but I know that there's more going on there than I've seen. Because that one. Her cheeks flush just like they did last time. She averts her eyes. No, I'm sorry, but no. Later, maybe, but not now. All right, Isabel. Maybe next time. Blinking, she turns away and buries herself in the octopus splayed innards. Please excuse me. I have work to do. All right, that's what I'm going for now. There's Gobbet. I'm going to go check in on... Actually, I should check in on Duncan before I go to the... Where's my computer? That's the better question. I found the stash. Computer is where? Oh, there it is. Oh, is that where he is? All right. Oh, hey, Raptor. Hello, sir. It's oppressively hot down here. The air is full of synthetic odors that grab you by the sinuses and refuse to let go. You can smell engine grease and melting plastic, ionized air, and lead solder. A quick scan of the room tells you why. The downstairs tenant has converted this place into a machine shop. Metal fabrication tools and duroplastic extruders line the walls, and a pair of heavy industrial manipulators hang from the ceiling. A man in a black trench coat stands with his back to you, staring at a monitor mounted above a sturdy workbench. He addresses you without turning. Ah, I was wondering when I'd meet the new neighbor. His voice is pleasant, cultured. There's a hint of Russian accent there, but it's buried under layers of nuance. Please stay where you are. I'll be with you just a moment. And unless you fancy an unplanned trip to Chrome Alley, don't touch anything. There are all manner of tools in here that could take your hand clean off. Take your time. I won't touch anything. Thanks for the warning. I know how to handle myself in the shop. I'll be fine. Oh, okay. So he's the person I can go for upgrades and stuff. Take your time. Won't touch anything. Ah, you're very kind. Thank you. No, I'm not going to examine the robotic arms. Try to see what's on the screen. The feed on the monitor looks like some sort of design software. You can see what appears to be a slim, spidery appendage in orthographic and perspective views. Downstairs tenant. Very good. Yes. That's coming along nicely. Very nicely indeed. He turns toward you, smiling, and for the first time you can see his face. He has broadly handsome Slavic features and a chiseled jaw. His eyes are like flecks of ice. So sorry to have kept you waiting, Miss Spark. It's no problem. Don't worry about it. Why don't you tell me yours first? You're too kind. Now tell me, what can I do for... His voice trails off as a flash of motion catches his eye. With alarming speed, a sinister-looking drone scuttles out from under the work table. Its movements are surprisingly agile and fluid. The machine rears back menacingly, spreading its forelegs in a clear sign of aggression. The man's smile tilts and his tone goes apologetic. Please, don't mind the drone. He can be territorial, but so long as you remain civil, he will not bite. He extends his hand. Simultaneously, the drone relaxes into a neutral position. Hey, Dark! Lowering its killing legs. Ractor. My mechanical counterpart here is called Cochet. Shake his hand. A pleasure. Slap him 5. Sup, man. Refuse to shake. Good to meet you. Shake his hand. Pleasure. His hand is rough and abnormally warm to touch. He shakes your hand with a solid grip. I am very pleased to meet you, my friend. In a community such as Hoi, it is important to be on good terms with one's neighbors. Agreed. Speaking of which, I'd like to ask you some questions if you have time. Absolutely. I don't have time to chat just now, but it was good to meet you. Very good. I should focus my attention on this morning's castings anyway. He waves you off. A pleasure meeting you, at any rate. I'll let you be on your way. All right. So that's where I go for... He's going to be basically my surgeon, isn't he? Activate the mission computer. Your workstation and mission computer. The cool blue tones of the workstation's main menu fill the screen. A blinking message on the upper right corner notifies you that you have 6 unread messages. Check your inbox for it, read your old messages, open the jobs directory, access the Shadowrun BBS. Shadowrun connection established successfully. Link strength 100%, spoofing 1, group info null anon. Welcome to Shadowland. Search BBS for relevant keywords. Now first, post pay data for sale. Attach data to escrow account. Data will be automatically sold to the highest bidder. Both parties will remain anonymous throughout transaction. Post the exotic animal dealer contacts. Posting successful. Posting will remain active for 2 days. Search BBS for relevant keywords. Topics matching local keywords. Thread. Misconnections. You, rappelling down the side of an unnamed... Misconnections. Oh my god, this is great. You, rappelling down the side of an unnamed luxury hotel in a ball gown on Monday night. Me, admiring the view from the 25th floor urinals during a private soiree for an unnamed corporation that I was infiltrating. Our eyes met briefly before you dropped out of sight, your long, dark hair had come loose from your shingon, framing your beautiful, flushed face. I will never forget it. You were carrying a duffel bag, bulging with stolen prototype weaponry. Well, I filched the intel that goes with it. Can we connect? Blackjack. Very funny, Blackjack. I'm sorry the job went sideways. I got trapped and had only one way out. Red Queen. We were supposed to have each other's backs. Just wait until you hear the way out that I had to take. Blackjack. We gotta lay low for a while. And why are we posting about this on a public message board? No more posts in this thread. Nice. Every Shadowrunner deserves love. This is so true. Been hearing some buzz about some mainlander terrorist that showed up in Victoria Harbor and had a shootout with the Hong Kong police force. I was gonna say Hong Kong police force. Somehow they switched the other day. Anyone heard anything on that? I would like to know. Ming Pao says there were 4 of them that got away. 1 elf, 2 orcs, and a dwarf. A troll, an elf, and a human were all killed on the scene. Word is that they're members of the White Star out of Henan, coming here to start trouble against the Executive Council. So say it the poor frat. Looks like there's a 50,000 new yen reward for any information leading to their capture. The Hong Kong police force seems pretty nervous about letting these bastards walk freely around the streets. Heaven shot. You think they'll actually pay out to somebody like us? Not a chance. You walk in there to claim the reward, you're getting thrown in a hole with them. The Hong Kong police force doesn't keep promises to the SINless. Freedom Cowboy. Couldn't hurt to try. Why'd you have to be such a downer? Heaven shot. Because I know the police. They're all dirty, they're only in on it to protect their paychecks, and they don't give a damn about anybody else. Believe me, I'm just looking out for your best interests. Haha. I just started. Look like you and your triad looked out for my brother. You know he's still paying for his reconstructive surgery, you bastard. Dongjiang. If a man wants to keep his teeth, he should pay what he owes rather than pull a gun on me. Simple as that. Freedom Cowboy. Normal post in that thread. Poetry Slam. Ladies and gentlemen, poets and Shadowrunners, welcome to the first annual Shadowland Poetry Slam. There are no rules and there are no prizes, except bragging rights. With no further ado, let the versification begin. Matrix Bard. How long do you think we can keep this going before the trolls show up or a sysadmin shuts us down? Jivebird. Why would they shut us down? It's a free board. We can be poetic if we want to. Tennyson. Just... trust me, it happens. For some reason, these things always draw the worst sort of attention. Jivebert. Are you going to give us a poem, or are you going to stand around complaining about why you can't? Matrix Bard. All right, I've got one. Wait for it. Synth muscle, smart links, neural boosters, cyber limbs, all fall to grenades. Jivebird. A little musing on the transience of life in the shadows. Very nice, sir. Matrix Bard. When the long shadows fall on Hong Kong, neon lights pierce the coming night. Tread with me on the velvet blackness. Let no lamp shine on our deeds. Tennyson. That one is titled Our Hour. Tennyson. That might just have been the most pompous thing I've ever read. Try this on for size. Lasers are red, shadows are black. With Matt on the street, you best watch your back. Now you're mad. My poem wasn't pompous, you uncultivated rube. It was an homage to Wang Wei, the famous Tang Dynasty master of the Jueju form of poetry. It's traditional, unlike that ridiculous limerick that you posted. Now, I don't think you have to take the word slam quite so literally. Matrix Bard. Hey, you people know the rules. Poetry slams have been out of bounds on this BBS since the Laughing Man debacle of 55. If you want to sling your fancy words, do it on a different forum. I'm shutting this thread down. Sisap. Told you. Jivebird. No more posts on this thread. Walled City. I've got a courier job next week that's supposed to take me into the Walled City. I'm from Kuala Lumpur, and I've never been to Hong Kong, but I hear the place is dangerous as hell. Is there anything I should know? Hantu Raya. Oh, you've got nothing to worry about. It's just a low-cost housing development full of hard-working people. Here, take a look at this news report, Freedom Cowboy. A short trid clip begins playing. This is Sunny Chung with Horizon News. On today's Sunny Side Up, the Kowloon Walled City, a blight on the free enterprise zone, or low-cost housing for the economically disadvantaged. We'll introduce you to some of the hard-working residents, how they live, and how they contribute to the growth and prosperity of our city. A montage sequence begins, showcasing the destitute poor of the walled city going about their daily lives. The shots have been carefully chosen, showing only smiling and productive residents, a stark contrast to your own experiences inside it. Many residents of Hong Kong regard the walled city as a place of no return. To outsiders, it is the last stop on a long road to homelessness. Rumors abound of feral ghouls, unsafe living conditions, and triad extortion. Yet when we went there, the reality was far different. What we saw will shock you. Citizens of Hong Kong working and living just like the rest of us. Their apartments are smaller and their shops more modest, but the people who live here wouldn't be out of place anywhere in the Fez. Citizens like shoemaker Chow Sang Tsui. The scene cuts to an elderly man in a closet-sized stall filled with shoemaking equipment. He smiles broadly at the camera. Oh, I love it here. We have a community, you know? We're like family. Maybe we don't have as nice a view as they do in Repulse Bay, but I can't imagine living anywhere else. It's not paradise, no, but it's my home. I grew up here. How could I possibly leave? The camera shifts back to Sunny Chung, who now stands in front of one of the entrances to the Walled City. Contrary to popular opinion, the Walled City serves a vital function. The poor and downtrodden find a home in the Walled City, a community where they have a voice, can work, and even prosper, far from being the eyesore that the video suddenly stutters, freezes, and ends. Okay, I've decided to cut the rest of that crap. She keeps going on about what a good place the Walled City is and how we all need it. Don't buy any of it. It may not be hell, but you can see it from there. Freedom Cowboy's just trying to get you in trouble. Isabel. Oh, that's her. So, how do you know the real story, Hunter Raya? Because I grew up there. Ah, we're reading one of our friends' things. You know what it's really like? It's eating old broth made from rat bones because there's nothing else. It's watching your neighbors sell their 5-year-old son to organ leggers so they don't starve to death. When you die in the Walled City, your neighbors cheer because they'll get the clothes off your back. I wouldn't wish the Walled City on my worst enemy. No more posting this thread. Alright, so we're done with that part. I have 6 unread messages. Do I have any old messages? No. So let's go to the new messages. Welcome to Hoi. From Kindly Chang to Spark. Welcome to Hoi. Spark, on behalf of your friends at the Hoi Chamber of Commerce and the Swift Winds Mahjong Parlor, I welcome you to the community of Hoi and to our new business venture. I've already lined up 3 jobs for you. The details of each are contained in a separate computer message. Remember to check your messages often, as it will update you with new opportunities as they occur. You have 5 unread messages. Your mission computer. From Isabel to Spark. Hey Spark, I've set your mission computer to automatically collect and collate news reports, information, and media that might be of interest to you. Some of the keywords I've got it trolling for are things like Raymond, Duncan, Walled City, etc. I've also patched in a permanent link up to the Hong Kong shard of the Shadowlands BBS. It's a great place to connect with other runners, sell pay data, and get news from the street, and so on. Don't be shy about taking a look. You have 4 unread messages. Resources. From Bao Jianjun to Spark. I have been instructed to inform you of the various suppliers present in Hoi. Auntie Chang has cultivated a commercial district of well-stocked and trustworthy vendors. Whoever you choose to do business with, you will be in good hands. Ermin Kafai at Club 88 is an excellent source for acquiring additional weapons, should you require any. If you are in need of magical supplies, go to the Parlor of 5 Phases. If you desire training on the path of the adept, seek out Spider Shen. She can help you, as well as supply you with any close quarters weapons you might desire. Chrome Alley can supply you with cybernetic enhancements and medical supplies. The proprietor, 10-Armed Ambrose, is a cyber surgeon of some repute. Oh, so not him. Law's Techno Palace is a Wampoan-run supplier of the local Deccan community. The place is hard to miss. Just look for a sign glowing in the sky. If you need drones, Reliable Matthews Robot Parlor is your best bet. And I pity you. Best of luck in the shadows, fresh meat. You are likely to need it. Well, yes, he is definitely a rigger. The question is whether or not he also, he has a machine shop down there. And I was just wondering what get. Alright, so serial killer, forward artifact liberation, serial killer. From Kindly Chang to Spark, serial killer. Subject. I've got a problem, Spark, and you're going to help me solve it. I do a lot of business with the Wampoans. If you're not familiar with the term, I'll forgive you. You are an outsider after all. The Wampoans are a tribe of techno-fetishists and deckers who have taken up residence in the Whampoa Garden area of Hong Kong. They make and trade high-tech goods to people from all over the world. A lot of Nguyen passes through their pacey little fingers, and I make a lot of money brokering deals between them and the smugglers here in Hoi. I've hit a snag, though. The Wampoan elders, their council of leaders, are being eliminated by a serial killer. They've asked me to dispatch someone to get to the bottom of it and stop the killings, and they're not taking their goods through my turf until I do. So, you're going to be my proxy, dear. I don't care how you do it, but I need those murders stopped. The Wampoans have a delegate here in Hoi by the name of Maximum Law. Speak with him if you wish to know about Wampoans. He's got a big mouth, but he knows very little of importance. Don't expect much from that half-empty bottle of vinegar. You get your ass down to the Whampoa Garden and talk to the elders. Lie, cheat, and steal if you have to, so long as they're convinced that there won't be any more murders. I want my cut back, and I want it soon. So that's 1. Forward. Artifact liberation. From Kindly Chang to Spark, forward artifact liberation. Welcome to the Shadows, Spark. I've received a request from an archaeologist named Mr. Drake. He's interested in liberating certain artifacts from beneath a manor house located in Tai Po. I've attached a copy of the video message that he sent me. The screen flickers a few times, and the email is replaced with the face of a stern-looking orc. Hello, Madam Chang. I heard that you're a woman who knows how to get things done, especially with regards to things that aren't legal in the strictest sense. That is exactly the kind of help I'm looking for. Well, just say it right out, then. Recently, a rich investor by the name of Liu Hua decided to expand his manor house on the outskirts of Taipo. Too much money, not enough space for fancy parties. He hit a snag with local government officials, however. They suspected the land his estate is built on may have pre-modern archaeological artifacts buried beneath it, all of them dating from the Song dynasty. Consequently, I was contracted as an archaeologist to oversee the excavations and ensure everything was properly recorded and catalogued. Sure enough, we were only a few days into the excavation when we discovered a series of tombs lying beneath the site. The scope of the tombs was far beyond anything Leo or I had expected. Several acres of catacombs, at least, and untouched relics throughout. What's more, they're certainly older than the Song dynasty. They may even be from the previous cycle of magic. Before I could make my report to the Free Enterprise Zone authorities, however, Leo called in his allies in Tantien Incorporated. Leo sold the entire site to Tantien, who then leased it back to him. Because Tantien is considered to have extraterritoriality in Hong Kong, local authorities were powerless to stop Leo from looting the tombs. He immediately began building a museum, if you can call it that, atop the site. He had the gall to call his museum the Emperor's Tomb. Can you believe that? The odds of there being an actual emperor buried there are basically nil, but he doesn't care. Anything to sell a few tickets. Do not spoil things! And do not... You're going to end up getting me to think of what might be spoilable. Leo has continued his excavations using Tantien contractors to expand the dig. What he didn't know was that I bugged his comlink before he fired me. Based on what I've heard, something strange is going on in the lower levels. Workers have been disappearing, only to be found dead several days later. Whatever is down there is too dangerous to be left in Leo's hands. Leo must have found my data line tap, though. I stopped receiving any information 3 days ago. The last thing I heard him talking about were a pair of ancient texts that workers had discovered. Then he issued an order that further excavation should be halted until he can secure the subterranean areas. I'm betting those texts are the cause of whatever's killing the workers. I have quite a bit of experience with these kinds of dangerous excavations, but an operation of this scale is beyond me. I need a team that's tough enough to get in and survive, aren't afraid of making a mess, and who can get out with the books and whatever else they can carry. Beyond the 2 texts, I'm willing to pay very well for whatever other artifacts your team can liberate. The more valuable, the better. Don't worry, they'll be going to actual museums, not some rich playboy's mansion. I've got a second program in place that will suppress Leo's security system. The team will have to be careful, though. There are only so many alarms I can suppress. Go beyond that number, and I'll scrub the mission. Oh. I've included a catalog of likely items to help the team appraise the most valuable ones. They don't need to be subtle. In fact, I prefer they make it look like a common robbery. Tell them to smash and grab whatever they can. Let me know when you find a suitable group of Shadowrunners. There you have it. A nice, simple robbery. Do you think you can handle something that basic, dear? I have faith in you. Let me know when you're ready to proceed. I'll contact Mr. Drake when you're on your way. Okay, so go back, and then Geomantic Sabotage. From Kindly Chang, Geomantic Sabotage. Geomancy is big business in the Free Enterprise Zone. Here in Hong Kong, feng shui isn't just the act of rearranging your kitchen to make things look pretty. The fortunes of empires rise and fall with the ebb and flow of qi. And sometimes that flow needs a helping hand. Wuxing Incorporated are the preeminent practitioners of large-scale qi manipulation here in the Free Enterprise Zone. They've gone to great lengths to channel qi from all over Hong Kong into their headquarters, an enormous monstrosity that they called the Wuxing Sky Tower. There, it is focused and transformed into good fortune through the building's geomantically attuned architecture and interior decoration. Our client believes that it's time for Wuxing's good luck to run out. You are to infiltrate the Sky Tower and disrupt the flow of qi throughout the building, but you are to do so in 2 distinct fashions. First, you must disrupt the feng shui of the offices by subtly altering the environment of that level. This will consist of minor adjustments of desks, spilled water, and other small activities that are unlikely to be noticed. Ordinarily, even subtle disturbances of this nature would be noticed. This is why the client wishes you to make a much louder demonstration on the rooftop garden. The garden is to be ransacked, utterly destroyed, set fire to things, uproot trees, that kind of thing. Our client has also specified that he would like you to destroy the large Buddha statue in the garden, smash the thing to bits, and leave them scattered across the rooftop. This level of destruction will keep Wuxing's geomancers busy long enough that the more subtle disruptions will take effect. In addition, it will send the kind of message our client would like Wuxing to hear. I have utmost faith in your ability to cause destruction. The more disruption you can cause on both levels of the Sky Tower, the happier the client will be. As you're not a spellcaster yourself, it may be wise to bring Gobbet along. She will be able to see the most effective ways to disrupt the key of the building. Take the rung and go back. All right, so first thing, go back. Open the jobs directory, view all pending jobs. All right, this is a kind of possibly, we'll see how this goes. Maybe we can actually be helpful. I'm a little concerned about the artifact liberation because of the whole thing about like the alarm setting off and scrubbing it. I don't quite follow. So we're going to start with the first one that they gave us. All right. I've already read through it, so take the run. Good. I'll tell the elders you're coming. They don't like outsiders, and they might shoot at you if I don't warn them that you'll be arriving. All right. Back to route. Walk away. All right. Go to the Wampoa to track down the serial killer. Now, where is Law anyway? The Mahjong parlor. I can't read today. That's awesome. It's my favorite. Spider Shen. That's Frederick Hafai. Where is this? What is this place? Use the intercom. Massive steel security door set to a bunker-like concrete wall. There is no sign or indication of what this place is. A battered intercom is in case. All right. Chrome Alley. Medical services and mechanical repair. Walk away. Useful, but not yet. Okay, that goes into Walled City. Where's our other guy? No, that's not goable. Goable. That's not a place you can go. There we go. That's Spider Chen. So that's not who I'm looking for either. It said look for the lights up in the sky thingy. Parlor of 5 phases. That's magical stuff. Gin and tonic. Reliable Matthew. Reliable Matthew is reliable and has shit on sale. Where is the, decking guy? Where's that shop? Feel free to spoil that part for me. I have no idea where the decking shop is. I'm having trouble finding it. Oh, hey. Also, a question for Dark. What did you play as in your playthrough, or how many playthroughs have you done at that point? Club 88. Dum, 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 dum. The hell? That's weird. Or were you the guy? Alright. Okay, right. Let's just leave. Yeah, who I'm looking for. I'm not finding him. Looks like I'm just gonna run back into my boat and see. I mean, it's optional to talk to him, but like... Resources. Just look for a sign glowing in the sky. Which you did. I didn't see one. Did anyone else see a sign glowing in the sky? Because I missed it. Clearly. Oh, how, like, I can't find the thing where they're like, yeah, you won't be able to miss it. And I'm like, apparently I can miss it. I can miss it a lot. I can miss it very well. I'm very, very talented at this. Noted. I'm not so much looking for a map of the area as I was looking for maybe someone could say like what to look for. 'Cause I mean, that's a sign. What I'm looking for here. Feels like there's nothing I can see here. Going that way leads to the walled city. See a lot of lights in the sky. Oh wait, there he is. Lights in the sky. Oh. Oh! Overhead, a gigantic hollow sun shines like a searchlight, screaming its message through the dim light. It hums and flickers, sputtering like an old engine. Fierce electrical crackles sporadically burst out of the sign's emitter, stabbing your eyes and filling your ears with static. Under the baleful glare of the sign, the rusty mini-barge's deck is stacked with electronics. Dilapidated stereos share space with crisply boxed servers. Ranks of discs and memory chips filled display cases, padlocked under plexiglass. Oh, hey! A short human in his late 20s stands in the middle, hands on his hips, talking loudly into the air. Bulky virtual reality goggles cover his eyes. A data jack cable runs from his temple down his stained t-shirt to a boatload of clearly home-built computer hardware. No, I'm telling you. His voice is shrill clipped. Nobody uses KM3s. Like, nobody. They're shit. I don't care what Deng says. If Shiawase SRP uses KM3s, they're stupid. Hey, flesh is rolling up. I gotta go. He turns to face you, goggles blank and enigmatic, blinking with tiny lights wrapped in duct tape. He points at your PDA. I ripped that PDA. You work for Kindly. His lips work impatiently. Yo, what do you want? Who are you? Servo's whine as two lenses in his goggles zoom in on you. Who am I? You're new here, I get it. You don't know about me yet, but you will. I'm one of the guys that keeps this neighborhood running. This is Law's Technology Palace, satellite territory of Whampoa. You step on the boat, you're in a sovereign state. I represent Whampoa here. I'm Maximum Law. He props himself up proudly, setting his hands on his hips. The Maximum Law, yo. You've got a problem? Boom, I solve it. You need software? Boom, done. But don't waste my time. So you got any business in Whampoa right now? If not, keep moving. That is an amazingly ostentatious holosign you've got. Why are you wearing VR goggles? Looks like you've got some dangerously exposed wires over there. I'm here for tech. Tell me what you've got. Tell me about Whampoa. Item, SimSense chip. Found this while poking around the walled city. Worth anything? See you later. See you later, Law. So, hey, look. Found this. He scans the chip. He scans the chip's casing with a handheld optical reader. Yo, that shit is banned. Lifted off some Yellow Lotus? They traffic this stuff. Delimited sim chips. Full sensory experience. You looking for a buyer? I can make it happen. How's 120 new yen sound? Sure, take it. Hope it finds a good home. Nah, I think I'll keep it. I think I'll keep it. What? Don't tease me like that. Raw. Tell me about Whampoa. We're pretty much the best, yo. What do you want to know? Lo folds his arms impatiently, as if he's irritated by your request. But he can't quite stifle a proud grin. Just tell me about the tribe generally. Who are you guys? You seem very outspoken. Less modest than many Hong Kongers. Is that tribal? What's a Whampoan doing on Kindly's turf? Are you liaison? I understand someone's killing your elders. Thanks for telling me about Whampoa. Okay, just tell me about the tribe generally. Who are you guys? Lost Mercs. You really are new to the Kong, aren't you? We're the Neo Matrix Collective. We run the Hong Kong Data Haven and the Kong Shadow Nets. We are the Kong Shadow Nets. Outside the corporate nets is the rest of the Kong. And in those shadows, you'll find threads of golden light that, like a vast spiderweb that carry information. Those golden threads and that web is Whampoa. Law gives a curt virile nod. My buddy Redstorm wrote that. Pretty wicked, huh? Anyway, we're bleeding edge on the path to the singularity. We're doing things no one else is doing anywhere, except maybe Denver or Tokyo. Our homeland is the Matrix, and we're building a society of truth and experience and information. You seem very outspoken. Less modest than many Hong Kongers is that tribal. What's a Whampoan doing in Kindly's turf? Are you a liaison? What am I doing here? Law seems shocked at the question. I'm an ambassador. I broker Whampoa's services to Hoi. Emissaries like me are all over the Kong, tying it together in an invisible network. So you work with Kindly, doing tech for the Yellow Lotus. Does Whampoa provide any technical services to Hong Kong's poor? Whampoans are coders and deckers for criminals, is that right? Okay, so do you work with them? Well, I do some work directly with Kindly, but my focus is more on the street level. We're all part of a big machine, each piece playing its critical role. So you're a little cog in the big machine. Sounds like your entry level. As is so with any highly involved machine. Sounds like your entry level. Law shrugs. Whatever. I know who I am. You don't need to. More important, I'm Whampoan, and I know what we are. Does One Poem provide any technical service to Hong Kong's poor? Sure we do. We run pirate networks. Our services are way more than most ordinary people want, though. You can get prepaid bandwidth with a corporate carrier for fractions of a nuyen, but you're selling your soul. They monitor it. If you want open, unmonitored by corporate algorithms, you gotta fly through the One Poem network. It's the only place to be. One Poems are coders and deckers for criminals, is that right? We do tech for anyone in the Kong, outside the corporate umbrellas. Anyone can use our networks if they pass our vetting and can pay for what we bring. He speaks with a shred of irony. It's mostly the extra legal element that needs our skill. You seem very outspoken. I am more outspoken, yeah. I don't need the meat space ritual. Modesty is inefficient. He shrugs dismissively. Is that a One Poem thing? For those of us who are most dialed, maybe. We're post-cultural. He sweeps his hand around, gesturing at his surroundings. I hardly see any of this meat space. Our meat space headquarters is a big 20th century ship that's totally awesome. Whatever. It's just meat space. Wampoa is bleeding edge on the path to becoming the singularity. And in the singularity, hello, Amarella! Thank you for 5 months of subbing! The cookies in the mail. I don't even know where to send the cookies to. So that does present a problem there. But there can be cookies in the chat. You can do that. And how's it going, Amarella? Yes, it is. These things happen. No worries. But thank you for yes. All right. Figure out how to get cookies into the chat. Yeah, that doesn't want to. There it is. Ha. I got more than you. Wampoa is bleeding edge on the path to becoming the singularity. And in the singularity, there's going to be nothing but straight up truth. Law punches his fist down on the ground, striking a majestic pose like a Tritio barbarian. Boom! Truth. I understand someone is killing your elders. His face goes grim. A red light blinks on the VR goggles. A lens works quietly, focusing on you. He grinds his teeth audibly, radiating nervousness and intensity. Yeah, shit's crazy. Nice! That sounds cool. Yeah, shit's crazy. Full-on medieval. I can't talk about it. It's a tribal matter. Controlled information, right? We're gonna solve it. That's all the outsiders need to know. Actually, I've been contracted to help the elders stop the murders. Wow, really? We're pulling in outsiders? Shakes his head in disbelief. Well, I should have seen that coming. What the hell are you doing here? Go to the garden and help stop that shit. Then come back and tell me what's going on. Everybody's guessing. The elders are being quiet and the rumor hub is going crazy. Outsiders don't understand us. Maybe you can, if you're really smart. We're in a whole different world than most people. I'm seeing 3 streaming videos, live network stats on my goggles right now. Time's wasting, Spark. Law kicks one of the bins at his feet. The sea of electronic parts within it rattle loudly. You gonna buy someone? You're gonna buy someone, yes. Buy something. So when your diplomacy fails, your gun's diplomacy will succeed. Yes. See you later, Law. Let's go do this. Yeah, whatever. Alright, fine, Law. Whatever. Whatever to you, too. Let's go. Alright. Let's go try to solve this. And as much as the job seems to be only figure out how to convince them that we have solved it, I'm gonna try to actually solve the murder. I should buy something, though. I'm gonna go buy something because I just realized I should buy something. Yeah. Press the buzzer. Crackle of static, then a brusque voice answers. The voice's Cantonese is precise, but the accent sounds American. Is this a medical clinic? What is this place? Knock, knock. I need some medicine. Haha, very funny. Listen, lady, I don't know you. I don't like people I don't know. What are you doing here? Who sent you? I'm friends with Isabel and Gobbet. Kindly will vouch for me. Forget it, I'm going. Yeah? You just idle your engine there for a minute and I'll check on that. There's a long silence on the intercom. The door gives several heavy, metallic clicks. There's a dull rumble, like heavy bolts sliding back. The green light flashes on the terminal. The door appears to be unlocked. You can enter the clinic. Yay! Okay, Chrome Alley. 10-armed Ambrose. The clinic looks like it just hosted a party. Spindly mechanical arms swing from unobtrusive wall mounts, pulling down crepe paper ribbons and scooping food platters. Literally an actual party. Scooping food platters and empty beer bottles into biohazard bags. I was just thinking, like, just as a thing. Oh, yeah. A severely crippled Caucasian man sits in a wheelchair amidst the maelstrom of mess and robotics. He's in his 40s. Thick beard, tungsten earrings, beer belly, one cyber eye. Both his legs are missing, one at the hip, the other at the knee. He has only one arm, and only 3 fingers remaining on his surviving hand. His face and arms show the scars of reconstructive surgery. He grins widely at you, regarding you with bloodshot eyes. He is clearly hungover. Nice. Hey, I'm Ambrose, he shouts cheerfully in English, his words spilling together in a loose Western accent. They call me 10 Arms. Welcome to the Kong, fellow Yucasian. He chuckles, his head shaking with mirth. His chest shaking with mirth. Oh, I can't read. A Waldo arm springs to life and swings over to him. Its menacing metal pincer momentarily sets a cigarette between his lips, just long enough for him to inhale from it. Kindly says you're all right. What can I do you for? You're a doctor? What do you do here? Show me your services. Your front door could stop a bulldozer. Why so fortified? Are you kidding? Have you any idea how much the stuff in here is worth? This is a high capital operation, and life's dangerous for a guy missing most of his members, tooling up smugglers and criminals. Let me tell you what, though. If someone busts in here, they're gonna be in for a world of hurt. There's a lot more than pipes and wires up in the false ceiling, and I've got Kindly's crew and the Club 88 boys on the panic button. They know which side their bread is chromed on. Apparently, their bread, they like chrome on their toast. What do you think of what? You thinking of trying to knock me over? He laughs uproariously, but it's not clear if he's kidding. You're a doctor? What do you do here? Show me your services. You're a doctor? Sure I am. I'm a rigger doctor. A rocker! Ow. Oh man, I cannot laugh hard today. Too much partying last night. It hurts. I'm not board certified, but don't worry. I should be. I am full-on skilled. My work's Yellow Lotus guaranteed and precisely in accordance with World Medical Association standards. This is true. Very true. Everybody in here comes to me, 'cause I'm the only option. Ambrose chuckles delightedly. Very well, Rocker. I guess that makes you my only option too. Sounds good to me. Wait, how did a rigger end up operating a clinic? I'm curious. Tell me the story. How do you think? My meat's not much to look at, but I am called 10 Arms because I can run 10 armatures at once. My question is, why don't more surgeons do it this way? I was more asking how you got your medical training. Good question. Maybe because they don't want a first career as a rigger on top of 6 years of residency? Okay, there we go. Yeah. Probably that one. I was more asking this. This is relevant. I have a colorful history. Let's leave it at that. What do you do here? What do I do? Tune-ups and engine rebuilds. On your ass. I do it all. First aid, second aid, surgery, cybernetics, obstetrics, euthanasia. I'm your one-stop shop for health and beauty. Oh, maybe not beauty. Can you install me with combat wear? I don't modify myself. Any reason I'd come around here if not for medical gear? I do modify myself. What sort of mechanical services do you offer? Or let's talk about something else. Can you install me with combat wear? You know it. You got the coin and the essence. I'll trick you out like a bulldozer with ground effects and a turret. I've got it all. Bionic limbs, wired reflexes, decker wear, blood filters, synthetic muscle, bone lacing, greased bearings, ground effects, tight bolts. The full range of Chrome Alley's services is something that we like to keep beneath the Hong Kong Police Force's radar. Ambrose winks. What sort of mechanical services do you offer? Oh, nothing you'd be interested. Right now, I'm mostly doing engine mechanics and electrician stuff. I send Maximum Law and Reliable Matthew any work they can handle. It's really just a hobby and service to the community. I make my note with the clinic. He looks fondly over the massive, partially assembled V8 engine occupying part of the operating theater. That baby's gonna be a goddess when I'm done with her. Let's talk about something else. Show me your services. Medical supplies! I would like that. Thank you. Cheers, Spark. Talk to you later. Like, time for me to go. Alright. So, we have that. Wait, what was over there? I missed something. Examine the lobby. This electro-furnace room has been built out as a medical clinic and a machine shop. The air is alive with the rumble of furnaces and the hum of cooling fans. It is sweltering. The front area is more like a homey coffee house than a clinic lobby. Comfortable old furniture, used digipads, coloring books. The wall opposite the boilers is cluttered with a mixture of photos and prints, local artists' works, images of military vehicles, off-road racing, Rube Goldberg machines, personal photos, old-time Chicago gangsters, the Desert War's Motorized Combat Division. Glance around the clinic space. The work area looks more like a machine shop than a medical theater. A roboticized operating table and a hydraulic lift supporting a partially disassembled V8 engine occupy places of equal importance against the north and south wall. Prosthetic limbs are racked overhead like machine parts. A heavy lift hoist is clamped to an I-beam. An impressive home-built computer sits across the far wall. Several bulkier towers sit under the desk, fans whirring. It looks more like a Sisselman's Decker's service station than a doctor's terminal. The floors are scuffed concrete, stained with grease and old blood. The faint odors of ammonia, gasoline, and antiseptic mingle in the air. A large sign in the back wall reads, "Sanitary space, no spitting." Inspect the personal photos. The pictures are mostly of Hoi residents, holidays, and parties. Ten-armed Ambrose is in many of them. The vast scope of the photos suggests that Ambrose must be acquainted with almost everyone in Hoi. Alright, let's look away. Look away! Alright, so I have that. You mentioned stuff about clothes, and that actually does have me thinking. Hey Frederick, what's up? Hello? Like most troll bouncers, this man is knotted with muscles, but absent are the myriad scars that come with age or indiscretion. His only blemishes are the bony skin growths common to his kind, and a single deep scar across his neck and collarbone. Someone just tried to kill him. You watch yourself in there, or else we check your aerodynamics. How do you mean? Just what will you do if we don't? Aerodynamics? Anyone causes trouble, I see how far I can throw them. No fighting, no killing, no sex trade. He lifts an arm, flexing. His muscles jump out like a mass of serpents and steel cabling. His arm is easily as thick as most humans' waists. I don't mess around. Alright. Okay. What was it saying anything about that? I'm just watching the door. Okay, Frederick. Pleased to meet you. Not gonna start shit. Hey, Henry. Oh, there's another one. There's only one way to describe the troll haunting the back of Club 88. Weathered. It is as if the man has been carved from granite and then battered by the crash of waves and salty winds over the course of decades. Welcome to Club 88. No killing, no fighting, no sex trade. And no fun, I take it. Rules are rules. You're the one who makes them? I can respect that. I'm Spark. I'm Henry Caffey. I suppose I own this place. If you're looking for guns, speak to my wife. If you're looking for farmers, speak to my son Callum. And if you're looking for trouble, you'll be seeing my son Frederick. Briefly. And what would I speak to you about? Nothing. I just steer the ship. Well, what ship? There's always a ship. Alright, I'll leave you be. I already forgot. Where's his wife? That's his son. Guess his wife is over behind door number 2. What the? Oh, damn it. Now I just feel like I'm not where I'm supposed to be. I did that wrong. Hey, ma'am. Ermin Fakai. The older troll woman has striking Amazonian quality. As when she was younger, she must have really turned heads. Can I help you? Do you work here? You in charge here? I'm usually beyond helping. But what can you offer? Thanks. I do explore, relatively fast. Guns are a swift kick out the door if you mess with me or mine. That wasn't what I meant. This is my family's place. Me, my husband, and our 2 boys. Now, do you have business with me? I have no time for window shoppers. What have you got for sale? Firearms from all over the world. From Ares to Walther and everything in between. You in the market? Let's take a look. Okay. Let's check some of these outfits. Secure Tech. No, wait. I wanted to compare it to mine. Do I... Oh, well. Do I not have an outfit on at all? Okay. For now, I'm gonna be screwed. Totally the wrong place. I'm gonna go to the stash and check what I do have. So the only clothes I saw there was an armor 3 thing. I'm not so sure. Oh, quick question. Thank you. I was actually gonna ask, does the game automatically, I forget. What's this? Okay, yeah. Confirm. Okay, so that is an upgrade, as you had pointed out. Let's get that on at least. But does it handle it for everyone else? Was actually what my question was. The gear for my, the gear for the rest of my crew. Let's take a look. All right. Ooh, smart link. Okay, upgrade. Confirm. And let's switch. How do I look? Where? Okay, there we go. Oh, look at me. Aw, check it out. I look nice. Yeah. Okay. So thing 2, I actually want to check, because I already have the abilities. Do I need to, but I had the abilities, but I don't remember seeing them. Oh, wait. Ay, Dios. Huh. Damn it. Okay. Area's hand raisers. Alright, so last I checked. Bye, Ambrose. Time to me to go. Let me actually check what my karma looks like. I have a lot of karma to spend, so I should probably do that. Anyway, can we spend? All right. Okay. So, cyber affinity. I can wear the spur cyber weapon, which does stuff. I can unlock that. Unlocks the broad ability for spurs and fray armor with hand raisers. Alright, that's actually what I wanted to know. So I want... Show me your services, sir. Cyberware. I'll take that V8 engine and a box job. Alright, I need feet. Give me feet. Right? No? Equipped. Oh! Oh. Wait. What a disappoint. And those are basically the same ones. I prefer... Damage strength +4 is nice, but only 1 bleeding. May do AP damage. Does no AP damage. Pierces up to 1 armor. Pierces up to 1 armor. Okay. More bleeding and AP damage. As much as strength +4 is nice. Yeah, like even when I was making her and I was like setting up the abilities, I was sitting there like, oh look. I can be X13. No, X20. I forget her number. Leave me alone. Why there had to be so many of them? Okay. Let's look at cyberware again though. Let's see. Simple skillware system, more control over aiming, throwing weapons. Passive 1 body. Simple skillware user more control over the reaction times. Passive dodge. Ranko's basic cyber eye replacement, extend and enhance your vision. Passive +3 to hit. Data jack, nope. Silver tech. Cyber arm, basic. Mimics the civilian trade model is street legal in Hong Kong. That's a lot of money. Dermal plating. Alright. Not yet. Eh? Yeah, I was looking at it too. It looked like it should be that initially, but I don't know why her like goodbye to him is so heartfelt. Dark is leading me astray. Is this revenge for all the times I got you killed? Is that what it is? Alright. Oh! Don't I want a throwing weapon? Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Does she have a throwing weapon for me? Hey man. I need stuff to hit people at range. Aside from grenades. Well, I was just looking for like, Alright, so insofar as like dealing with things at range. Boop, 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 boop. I was like, they have these. Because like before, we had done the strength. Yeah. Alright. I'm just gonna actually spend a little bit of karma on body. Woo! Confirm. Alright. For now, I'm gonna die. Whoop. Let's actually do a proper save. Yes, let's restart the level. No, good gods, no. Kidding. Save. Let's go. The MTR doors open as you approach. Head to Wampoa Garden to discover who's killing the Wampoan elders. Mystery solving time, everyone! In addition to your team, your fixer has access to a small network of mercenaries in the Kowloon area. These runners appear below your core team on the runner selection screen and can be hired on a mission-to-mission basis. As you complete missions, both your team members and the available mercenaries will periodically gain access to new equipment and abilities. Any new items, spells, weapons, or weapon abilities that a runner gains will automatically be available for use the next time you take them on a mission. Fine. Alright. Obviously. Security specialist. I think we need more medical equipment. I'm just looking at our shit and you just look at yeah, we used up a lot of our medical equipment before. So I want to buy more medical equipment before we start running through everything. Running. That's so convenient that this is right here. Hey dude, sell me things. Thank you. Show me your services. Sell me things. Basic med kit, basic med kit, basic med kit. Alright, well, it's cheap, right? So... $350. I'm slightly uncomfortable with that. I'm cheap, alright? I'm cheap. Goodbye, Ambrose. It's time for me to go. You're not supposed to park there. Bus stop. Alright, let's go head over places. And you, and you, and you, and inventory. Okay, wait. Now we have everyone. You're about, oh, okay. You're about to travel to the Whampoa Garden. Continue. Confirm. Yes. Yes. Yes, I will. And in fact, there's a large number of them from my first run with streaming, so yes. Oh, look. Press F to cycle through all available weapons. Whampoa Garden. Whampoa Garden, a carnival of chrome and neon, rife with every manner of technology and artifice one can imagine. The entire area has the feel of a night market, save that chips are sold in lieu of steamed buns, and vendors hawk the latest drones rather than folk art. Something stalks these streets, hiding just out of sight. It stalks the Whampoan elders, the leaders of the band of tech-savvy squatters that have claimed this neighborhood as their own. The streets smell of ozone and fear, and those Whampoans you pass in the MTR station have a haunted, furtive look in their eye. While the killer has struck only at the elders thus far, it may only be a matter of time before ordinary residents are menaced as well. This is true, but my crew is my friends. I really like Gobbet and Isabel. So, you know, put them in danger. Like you do. Oh. They're all locked. Right. I guess we're good to go. Yeah. Yep. Okay. Confirm. This is true. It is very true. And plus, some of them are cool. The streets of Whampoa Garden are slick with rain, glittering under the neon glow of myriad signs and holographic displays. The sky reflects the same glow, painting the white apartment blocks the sickly orange of sodium streetlights. The smell of grilling meat mingles with other, rarer scents. Ozone, engine oil, and high-tech fabrication facilities. Oh my god, yes. Jowan from Dragon Age. There we go. He's hilarious, Jowan. He's just constantly like, no, but you don't understand. It wasn't my fault. Despite the hours, there are plenty of people out and about. You can hear the calls of street vendors and touts, urging people into their stores. Isabel wrinkles her nose, scowling darkly. She wraps her arms tightly around her chest, staring off into the distance. Is there a word for feeling nostalgic for a place you can't wait to leave again? I don't miss this place, but I miss the feelings I had when I lived here. I'm gonna Google that word. God damn it. Ah, okay, yeah. Basically, that's, yes. Oh, well, I guess not. And she knows better than me. Isabel shakes her head. Not that. No, that's not it. It's close, but... She lets one sentence trail off into nothingness, clamping her mouth shut for a moment. Yep, but that's not how to do it. Did you actually remember that one? Meet Glitch, Queen of Discretion, Mistress of Subtlety, where sneaking means opening with a fire... Yep. Isabel sighs heavily. This place seemed like heaven after the walled city, like the whole world had unfurled in front of me, and anywhere I turned there was promise of a good life. Turned out this place was just as crappy as everywhere else. Everyone was still in it for themselves. Gabbett claps a hand on Isabel's shoulder, who flinches and pulls away. That's a great life lesson, I'm serious. At the end of the day, life's a raw deal. You've got yourself and a handful of friends, and that's it. Nothing else. Duncan casts a sidelong glance at Isabel and Gobbett shaking his head. You've got some strange ideas about life. Sure, life's a meat grinder, but come on, there's got to be more to life than just surviving. Does there? What makes you into the authority on that? Isabel waves a dismissive hand. I'm done talking about this. Anyway. Isabel turns towards you and points down the street. We're looking for the Wampoan elders. They're gonna be in the Wampoa itself. That's the big ship down the street. Seen pictures. Looks like a yeah. That's the mall shaped like a boat, right? Isabel nods, lips pursed. That's the one. Somebody thought it would be clever to make a uniquely shaped mall. I think I made her laugh. Okay, this literally, is there anyone? I heard he's not just dead, but he's been all cut up. Look at all these people with their umbrellas. They're wearing mourning umbrellas. Literally nothing here to interact with. Really? Nothing? It just happened to be an introduction to me. Okay. I mean, it is a useful one. Hey, random people. You better find someplace indoors to sleep, Jan. The streets are dangerous lately. Anything else? It's fucking raining out. Did anyone else hear that? There's the little, the cat yowling sound effect. And like, meow. Wampoa Garden. Okay, so that's everything else. Anything else? Just the Wampoa Garden. Hey, look, water spilled. Do, 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 do. Okay. Hey, ma'am. Apparently nothing here. Oh, hey, look, it's an arcade. Oh my god. Those sounds. Elder Young. This orc woman is festooned with small circuits, tiny trid screens, and speakers. The trid screens display snippets of trid broadcast from every corner of the world. Tiny speakers play a counterpoint with a susurrus of voices speaking Sperethiel, Punjabi, Kazakh, and other languages. Her expression is haggard, and she fidgets with her fingers as you approach. Welcome. Welcome to the Wampoa, my friend. I am Elder Ung, and these are Elders Tang and Ip. Ung gestures to the elf and the human, who each incline their heads respectfully. Thank you so much for answering our request for help. We had nowhere else to turn. It's the least I could do. Sure, whatever. As long as you can pay, I can help. I am not terrible. I might as well, you know, yeah, sure, let me help with I actually want to help with the serial murders. I mean, come on. Let's just go bite off all we can chew. What are you doing, newly SINless? What's your first run gonna be? We're gonna track down a serial killer. You sure about that one? Yeah. Why? It's not like it's hard, right? Under Tang's skin, glowing tattoos writhe and change shape. Tigers become cranes and move on to dragons. We're under threat. One by one, we elders are being hunted by some monster. As you may have noticed when you arrived, there's been another killing just tonight. How many of them are you? Are you almost done? It's like, I mean, I guess once you guys are all dead, it's done. Ip crosses his solid chrome arms. Holographic readouts dance constantly over their surface, displaying diagnostic information about their state. Operating temperature, servo pressure, and a variety of other minutiae. He looks past you towards Isabel. The prodigal daughter returned once more. I didn't expect to see you back aboard the Wampoa in my lifetime, Isabel. When you disappeared, Elder Yatunde was very put out. Sorry. I'm glad you're still alive. When you chose to walk your own path, I was disappointed, but I still understood why you had to leave. It pauses, tasting the air as he chooses his next words with care. I hope my lessons have helped you prosper. Didn't expect to be back either. Work takes you places, though. Isabel shrugs. A moment later, she places a hand on her pistol, eyes trained on the Ip's shoes. The Ip? I don't cart this around for fun, Ip. The lessons kept me alive. Nice. I mean, maybe. That's one way, right? What could possibly go wrong with that? There's actually a few more that I wanted to add from, Amarela. You should be on here more. This thing. Ah! What did I do? Oh, right. There we go. Wrong thing. Oh, I'm at it. Close that. Alright. Where is... Oh, well, she's dead. Didn't you figure it out? Isabel blinks several times and then looks up at Ung, her expression clouded. Where is Yatunde anyway? I expected her to be here. Ung shakes her head sadly. She reaches out a hand toward Isabel, who shrinks away from it. Shrieks away from it. Ah! She's dead. So are Gan and Nakamura, and Tong was killed just last night. So much blood. You have to stop this from continuing. Yeah, there's not many left. I mean, there's 1 out of 3. Exactly! Kind of want to tie those two quotes together. I can edit a quote later, and I will. The bot, I can actually edit it in the bot properly. Or it can be added. Isabel's expression remains impassive, but her knuckles grow white as she balls up her fist. That's what we're here for. We'll stop the killings. Thank you, Isabel. Ing lifts a hand, wiping away tears from her eyes. What can you tell me about the murders? What happened to Tong? Have you made any enemies lately? What do the Wampoan elders do? That's all for now. Yeah, that's just done. Right. What can you tell me about the murders? They started 2 weeks ago. The first to go was Gan. We found him in his apartment, eviscerated. And swallows, grimacing at the painful memory. He'd been torn apart. His head had been ripped completely off, and most of his skin flayed away. There was so much blood it took us a week to clean out his apartment. I, the person with the claws in the room, would like to point out that I am not responsible for any eviscerations and flayings of people that may have happened in recent time. I just got into town. I'm just saying. Still counts as stealth if there's no one alive. Yes. Tang nods, running his palm over his forehead and hitting his goggles in that. The rest have been the same. Always at night, always dismembered. Each scene is like a nightmare. And every time, nobody has seen anything. It's like a ghost. Which, kind of possible, actually, here. So, yeah. What happened to Tong? The same thing that happened to the rest of the victims. Evisceration and dismemberment. We sent a guard to keep people out of his shop, but he'll let you in. When did he die? Sometime early tonight. He locked up his shop, but if stopped by to tell him about some skill chips he had. The door was unlocked, and inside, Ung lifts her hands helplessly. She opens her mouth, but no words come out. Seeing Ng's inability to continue, Ip takes over. Inside looked like a bad horror sim, just like all the other murders. It had to have happened after sundown, because I saw his shop was open when I was on my way to get some noodles for dinner. Why didn't you call the police? The Hong Kong police force isn't welcome here. They've tried to force us out several times before, or come hunting for someone to pin a crime on. We do a lot of favors for local gangs and triads, handle their matrix security, fix up their gear, and make sure they have access to the Hong Kong Shadowrun's hub. We're too valuable a resource for them to lose, so they protect us when the Hong Kong police force or anyone else decides we're an easy target. They handle our physical security, and we make sure to send the message via the matrix. The last time the Hong Kong police force made trouble, we started airing the assistant chief's dirty laundry over the trid. They got the picture and backed off. Have you made any enemies lately? Ng shrugs helplessly. Not that I can think of. We keep to ourselves. We buy and sell technology. We're not mercenaries or criminals. We're merchants and deckers. And even if someone was cheated on a deal, this kind of response is unthinkable. I'm going supernatural. Whatever did this, it wasn't human. The violence and savagery is... It's a monster, whatever it is. Plenty of metahumans are monsters too, and just because it's horrible doesn't mean it's supernatural. Hey, what are you trying to say? What do the Wampoan elders do? What do you guys do? Isabel snorts derisively. They make the rules and kick people out who don't obey them. They're a bunch of petty tyrants, that's what. Out of nowhere, just coming in with like, okay. You're being unfair, Isabel. Our laws are for the good of the community. Tang turns to address you. We keep the Wampoa and its residents safe. We review trade agreements with outsiders to see if they're good for the community. We provide a guiding vision, like a town council. I can respect that. Rules are made to be broken. You people are really weird. Literally none of these. Good night, Amarella. And thanks again for the continued subs. Sleep well. Alright, I guess, I can respect that, but, like, I'm trying to get on Isabel's good side, so don't be reasonable. But, like, I don't want to be too reasonable. Rules are made to be broken. I guess I can respect that. Which is odd, because I realize she has, like, a gang background, but, like, I'm kind of going with, like, you know, their rules. I'm glad you understand. This community is fragile, and the authorities bear us a lot of ill will. A single misstep could spell our end, but you can't come up with any enemies, huh? I am the invoker of sprites. I commune with the spirits of machines, ask them for blessings, and pass those blessings on to the people here. I heal the sick and ensure the feng shui of our habitats is as good as it can be, given our confines. She's a shaman, that's all. She's just got some kooky spin on it. Claims her totem is some kind of all-encompassing machine god that lives in circuitry. Isabel pats her deck, looking at Ancient gods and ancestors are one thing. My deck, it's mine. I built it. The only spirits it's got in it are the ESPs I loaded up with. Ing gives Isabel a look of deep sadness. Just because you cannot see or touch a thing does not mean it does not exist. Just because you do not believe in it does not mean it does not protect you from afar. I can't touch programs either, but at least I can prove they have an effect on the physical world. Your superstitions are just that. Bullshit. Isabel glances at you, jerking a thumb toward Tang. This guy treats drones like they're living things. Oh, what exactly do you do, Tang? Thang. Nope. Tang extends his arms, palms up. As you watch, the tattoos therein shift into a complex mathematical formula. I am the first and glorious servo. I study patterns, repair machinery, and teach others how to attune themselves to the wonders of automation. The blessed AutoFab is my shop and purview, where we make the drones we use and sell. I'm gonna kind of go back to that whole "you guys are weird" thing. You guys did not clue me into all of this when you initially spoke, guys, or else I would have said you're a bit weird. I mean, weird is fine. Weird is good. But you're weird. As for me, I serve as the resplendent voltage spike. Yip smiles crookedly. That means I shoot people who try to screw with us. It's a fancy title for it. Head of security. That's all for now. It might be wise to ask the residents of Whampoa Garden if they've seen or heard anything after you've gone to Tong's Sensory Carnival. They may have seen or heard things we have not. Oh, his store! His store! Okay. His store is called Tong's. That makes a lot more sense than what I initially thought. I initially thought Tong's Sensory Carnival was the funeral. And I'm like, what? Did they just, upload a bunch of stuff and then you can, see his, life? It's hard for them to approach the singularity in pieces. Good to know. Search for the killer in Whampoa Garden. Sure. Alright. Now, did I get this? Did she say after I go to the carnival or before? There's the sensory carnival. Is there anyone I can talk to now? Well, yes, but I'm not surprised that that's the ceremony. I would be surprised at it being called the Sensory Carnival. Rather than something a bit more, I don't know, grim or not grim, somber. There we go. I was like, what's the term for like respectfully depressing? Somber. There we go. Porter Lamb. Porter Lamb at your service. Oh, my ears are ringing. Anyway, Porter Lamb at your service. The elders told me that you'd be coming. Did they tell you about what happened to Tong? Just a basic. He got killed earlier tonight, yeah? Not really, no. Hey, let's get more information. By acting like we don't know shit. Not really. Frankly, I'm not surprised. I don't even know if words can do it justice. You ever see what happens when a goat gets hit with a grenade? Messy, I expect. Wait, I like my answer to does that happen a lot? Like, just like, wait, why is this the frame of reference you went for? Like, is that a thing here? Do you guys, like, just throw grenades at goats? Does that happen a lot? No, there was this one time in vacation. I was in vacation in Cambodia a couple of years back. They still have... Oh, right, yeah. They still have mines from damn near 100 years ago out in the backwoods, right? Unstable as hell. Some of my friends out there get drunk and use hand grenades to set off clusters of them. Lob one out, take cover, watch 2 or 3 mines go up in smoke. Pretty clever, actually. Using explosives to clear explosives, I mean. Well, one day I was out with my friend Swan, and her brothers were working on clearing some mines. Narong lobs an airfoil grenade into the underbrush, and a few seconds later, this goat comes bouncing over, looks at the bush and says, "Bah." Porter mimes an explosion with his hands. We had goat stew for dinner the next night. That poor damn goat. What does this have to do with Elder Tong? We have a goat versus grenade. It's a bang of a time. Good gods, yes. I'll put it this way. Elder Tong and that goat, they're about the same consistency. You're not going to turn him to stew, right? Bloody, bloody, bloody. Oh, that's not... I mean, it's kind of a reasonable amount. I was expecting it to be all over. Like someone actually sat there with a roller. Tong's Sensory Carnival looks like a scene out of a B-grade slasher sim. The cloying scent of incense hangs thick and pungent in the air, emanating from the small shrine in the corner of the shop. Unfortunately, it does nothing to cover up the reek of death and clotted blood, despite the ragged remnants of Elder Tong littering the floor. I'm sorry. I processed that sentence while I was reading it, and damn. Okay, let's try that again. Despite the ragged remnants of Elder Tong littering the floor, the rest of the shop appears to be in good order, at least at first glance. Nothing is broken, tipped over, or otherwise ransacked. The ragged remnants of Elder Tong littering the floor. As you're about to step further into the room, you glance at the ceiling and walls. The blood from Tong's body isn't just confined to where his remains lie. Drying blood is spread about the walls and ceiling as well, which we can't see. Awfully convenient. Okay. Awkward? Funny you should bring that up. I've been to a few. There was only one that I had that problem at, and it wasn't because of anything funeral related so much as something that was going on with the sermon. It was kind of like this shady thing, really, but like I just got shocked by the audacity, so I had a hard time not laughing, like just in shock, because the guy basically turned it into well, we don't know what her fate is in the afterlife, so come join my church so you can go to heaven. Like, literally, that was his sermon, and I had the hardest time not laughing. I kind of got chastised by someone who was sitting next to me at the time, but I was just like, what the hell are you doing, sir? Fortunately, I never have to go back to that place again, so it's all good. There's some hole in the wall somewhere. The walls are covered in splattered and smeared blood, most of which is hardened. Yes. And not just any. It wasn't just go to church. It was go to his church, specifically his church. I was just like, do you really think this is appropriate, sir? This is incredibly inappropriate. Like, I can't even process how inappropriate this is, dude. Like, really? It was one of those storefront churches too, so. The walls are covered in splattered and smeared blood, most of which is hardened into a crusty, congealed paste. Thick tracks of it run laterally. It looks like the blood has been deliberately smeared. And not that I have a thing against, like, places that's, like, what they can afford. I'm just saying, in his case, that's kind of all I ever hope he can afford. Wouldn't want it to look legit. Like, fancy, because that means he has money. Anyway, hey, Spark. Oh, wait, no, wrong. It's not a greeting. He's been with me the entire time. He's calling my attention. Let's try again. Hey, Spark. I don't know a whole lot about science or all that, but I know what blood looks like when it hits a wall. This isn't natural. Somebody deliberately smeared blood all over these walls. See how it looks like it got paint? It's got... Someone did paint it. That's because somebody used tongue... Oh my god. This is horrible. See how it looks like it's got paint trails? That's because somebody used Tong's parts like a brush. It's almost as good as what you thought was happening. What did you think was happening? So they painted his walls with blood? Why? Well, this seems ritualistic. Like, horror movie ritualistic, though. Do I look like a psychologist to you? Maybe because they're a freak. Maybe they're one of those 6 serial killers that sees their murders as art. I got no clue. All I know is what normal blood looks like on a wall, and this ain't it. Some people have a bad grasp of art. I knew this guy in Kwantung who used to make music out of stray radio static and panic button calls. Oh my god. Called it Crisis Wave. It was awful. I want this to be a thing. Like, a fake thing, but a thing. I could possibly make it. Especially since it doesn't actually have to be any good. I just need the sound clips. I am so distracted, I barely know what's going on in this case, guys. Oh! Yeah, no. No, it's a different kind of audacity. It's a different kind of audacity. Fortunately, sorry, I'm actually reprocessing that. I was like, oh yeah, and then I'm like, fortunately I didn't, and now I'm like, wait, what do you mean it's not exactly uncommon? That's horrifying. Because I'm just like, I mostly keep to myself in them anyway. Typically dressed inappropriately because I don't really have a lot in the way of like fancy funeral looking clothes, so I kind of look a little bit Hot Topic rack. Anyway, Tong's body is a ruined mess. The destroyed ruin of his face is barely, well, a lot of ruin here. Destroyed ruin of his face is barely recognizable, and what is left of his body would best be described as savaged. All of his limbs have been torn off. Yeah, but not entirely. And a pile of flayed skin... Ooh. And a pile of flayed skin lies next to the remnants of the Wampoan elder. Where? I just see limbs. Where is it? Oof. Ah, yeah. There's that too. I mean, I don't come in like disrespectful. Like I do what I wear, I do wear like in a way that makes it try to look like I'm properly dressed for a funeral, but it's all stuff that I kind of would wear anyway. Like, don't put on the makeup and don't wear the spikes. Got it. We're good. The Wampoan's clothing has all but been reduced to rags. Well, no, there's plenty of clothing. I'm getting mixed messages here. The Wampoan's clothing. My ability to read and track what I'm reading, by the way, is just shot. I at least hope it's entertaining. Also, I think my tea needs warming again. The Wampoan's clothing have all but been reduced to rags and tissue by cuts and tears, apparently sustained during the flaying. At this point, the only thing holding what's left of his body into a semblance of a human form is the hair-thin fiber optics of his cyberware. He looks a lot more intact than the description. Alright. Gobbet puts a hand over her mouth, speaking in an uncharacteristically serious tone. Sweet heavens, Spark. I haven't seen anything like that since Auntie Wong tried to stash some cred sticks in a devil rat's nest. It takes a lot to turn my stomach, but we sure have a winner today. This is seriously messed up. I love, like, none of us have any fucking clue. Well, by that I mean me. There we go. Wait, what? Biotech 3? What? I don't have biotech? Oh, that's the medical one. I'll second that. This isn't a murder. This is more like, I don't know, a feeding frenzy. If it weren't for the skin, I'd say Tong stepped on a goddamn mine or something. Going right back to the goat. Which went after the grenade that was supposed to go for mines. There we go. Biotech 3, can't do. Examine the body. Spellcasting or conjuring. Nope. Use astral perception to assense the body. Have Gobbet assense the body. Leave the body alone. Gobbet, get to work. This is not going to be traumatizing for you. You're the boss. Boss. Man. This is going to be unpleasant. Gobbet closes her eyes, taking a deep breath. After a moment, she opens them again and makes a strange grunting noise. But, come on, rats. There's no fear here, Spark. No anger either. Just this kind of satisfied feeling. Tong never saw it coming, and whoever did it was professional about it. Which is pretty odd, because nobody's professional about eviscerating a body, as far as I know. You think it was a hit? You mean the murder wasn't some kind of animal attack? Which would go, that kind of is implied in the you think it was a hit. And it sounds like she thinks it's a hit. So, let's go with that. You think it was a hit? I don't know why the killer was after Tong, but it definitely wasn't any kind of mindless creature or even someone particularly passionate. It was somebody who planned this and executed it and was glad about it. I don't know, it kind of feels like it was just business as usual. Leave the body alone. Well then. Anything else around here? Bloody wall, Tong's body. Open the door. Desk safe. Yes. Robin blind. Search the bathroom. Tong's bathroom is immaculate, and the drains are tiny. Whatever killed him didn't exit through here. Desk safe. Tong's desk drawers are open, and the safe that's built into one side has been opened. There's no sign of tampering, and the green light next to the word unlocked is blinking. Whoever opened the safe did it with the key fob. Inside are several blank cred sticks, but no sign of any with money on them. Looks like someone looted his stash. A guy like this wouldn't keep only empty cred sticks in his safe. Decking 3, debug the system. Have Isabel debug the system. This is a Yamaha 95,000 with 95,000 V SimSynth, a device for mixing and mastering SimSense chips. Several drive bays are empty, and all of the chip jacks are empty. The screen is flashing a repeated error message. Warning: requested files cannot be found. Please return drives to bay and try again. Isabel, debug this. Isabel rattles out some commands on the Simpsons keyboard, stepping away after a few seconds with a look of satisfaction on her face. There. I've put the drive warning on suspend. It's in diagnostic mode only, though. Maybe we'll learn something, maybe not. Yamaha, SIMOS 523, system diagnostics check. Memory, okay. Drive, error. Assist bust, okay. Beginning core dump, please wait. Isabel studies the screen in detail as letters and numbers scroll by. Looks like Tong was cooking some BTLs here. He's hacked the P controller output cutoffs. The delta levels on sim chips are usually about 4 to 5, 6.5 for Cal Hots. His delta peaks are pushing 12. That's brain-burning territory. Spark. And all the drives and chips those BTLs were stored on are missing. I wonder if this was an attack of opportunity. I didn't mean it in the D&D sense. But I'm wondering if this is a copycat, is what I basically mean, in an attempt to get the BTLs. I never liked Tong, but it wasn't because he was a bad guy. I just don't like any of the elders. But if he was cooking chips at Delta Wave, maybe he burned somebody he shouldn't have. Maybe they flipped their lid and came after him. Or a relative did. Isabel gives you a serious look, tipping her head at the synth. The metahuman brain can't handle this kind of output. It'll shut down after a few of these. Alright. So, that's what we have insofar as information in here. Anything else we can interact with in here? Anything at all? No. Alright. Alright, let's start talking to people. Hey, Porter Lamb. Since you were here. What do you do around here, Porter? It's a catch-all category, I guess. I work for Elder Ip. It's a bit like being a deputy. I make sure people don't break the rules, protect people who need protecting. Mostly I just do whatever Ip asks me to. It's a pretty quiet job most days. Today is not one of those days. I also handle a lot of maintenance. I don't actually do the repairs, but I got most of the keys. It makes it easy to ensure only authorized people get into sensitive places. Electricity goes down, I let in the electrician who fixes the wiring. Toilet's clogged, I let in the drone guy who opens it back up. It looks like somebody went through Tong's things. Has anyone else been inside? Not since I've been here, but before Ip found him? Could have been anybody, really. Ip had a key to his place, but the lock's total crap. Anybody half decent at cracking maglocks would have gotten inside. What's missing? His BTLs, hard drives, and cred sticks are all missing. Sounds like the killer looted his place to me. All this talk of monsters. Yeah, sure, there are scary things that go bump in the night, but most of the scary bumps I hear are from handguns and gangsters. See you later. Hey, Zippy. This orc is busy snacking on a steamed bun. As you approach, he wipes off one of his hands and sticks it out towards you. Hey, stranger. Nice to see you. Zippy Toe Tag at your service. How are you liking Wampoa Garden? I'm Spark. Nice to meet you, Zippy. You're awfully friendly. You don't even know me. Do I know you? So. Nice to meet you, too. Listen, I know it's a little forward of me to just say hello and whatnot, but I'm interested in giving you a hand if I can. Zippy gestures expansively at the squalid neon-lit streets of Wampoa Garden. This is my home, at least for the time being, and I'd like to stop these killings. We've never met before this, but I know exactly who you are. You're my replacement. The elders had me autopsy what was left of Elder Gan and Elder Nakamura after they got ripped apart, but I didn't want to dig any deeper. So since I don't know you, and I can smell a Shadowrunner a mile away, You've got to be the outsider they asked to stop the killings, right? Zippy tilts his head back, obviously pleased at his amateur deduction. Very astute, that's right. Show off? Yes, you're right. Nothing gets by you, does it? Show off. See? I have good eyes. A lot of good eyes, actually, if you're in the market for replacements. Only slightly used, and they only come from certified donors, I swear. Man, I kill myself. Pretty funny, you stand... so Hardy belly laugh and rubs him to work, and he stops one of this dies inhalation. Pretty funny, you a stand-up comedian? That was awful. Make a joke like that, maybe I'll kill you first. Pretty funny, you a stand-up comedian? With jokes like that? Are you kidding me? I'm one of the only trained surgeons around here. I keep the other Wampoans healthy. Gotta practice down the road. Blind Chen's a pretty good cyberdoc, but he's basically an implant specialist, and that's it. How'd you end up here? You don't seem much like a doctor to me. How did you end up here? I did my residency back in UCAS. Could have become a real MD too if things hadn't gone south for unrelated reasons. Zippy opens his coat, revealing his cyber deck. He passes it proudly. I also deck a little, but I'm better at slicing skin than ice. Wampoa Gardens seemed like a good fit for me. You must have a lot of customers. So, is it fairly peaceful around here? Let me ask you about Wampoa Gardens. So, is it fairly peaceful around here? For the most part, other than these killings, we don't have much by way of problems. We do information security for the triads, and that makes us fairly impervious to anyone who wants to start trouble. Anyone starts something, we'll hit them in the Matrix while our triad friends hit them in meat space. For some small-time gangs have tried pushing in here before, but they backed off when they figured out they weren't just picking a fight with Tang and his guys, but both the Red Dragon and the Yellow Lotus. They got the message real quick. What was left of them, anyway. You must have a lot of customers. That's the chip truth. I have to charge to cover my costs and eat, but it's damn near free service. There's always a waiting list. But it's good, honest work. I like helping my neighbors and the community. We all look out for each other. Somebody messes with one of us, they mess with all of us. That kind of community is rare as gold these days. How many places have an ethos like us? Not the damn corpse, that's for sure. I've lived a lot of places. Done my fair share of shadowrunning, but this place is special. It's been a long time since I really felt like anywhere was a real home. Zippy looks off past you toward the Wampoa Garden Street. His expression goes wistful, like he's remembering something from a long time ago. I'm sure I'll move again, but not for a while. I'm not done with this city or these people. Let me ask you about Wampoa Garden. Sure thing. What do you want to know? What are your thoughts on the murders? There's a sharp intake of breath as Zippy shakes his head. Pretty gruesome business. Gan died from a broken neck. Looked like someone had wrenched it around. His arms and legs were cut off. Some skin flayed away, too. Nakamura has his throat ripped out by someone with pretty sharp teeth. At first I thought it was a devil rat, but the teeth marks were all from something with a humanoid jaw. I didn't look at Yatunde, but from what I saw at a distance, it was the same story. Didn't see much point, since I'd seen it twice already. As for Tong, from what Porter told me, it was Gen and Nakamura all over again. Do you take a good look at him yet? Yeah. It's the same as you described from the others. Zippy shakes his head sadly. Damn, I like Tong. The BTL business is unsavory, but the man had to eat, and his regular Sims were great. Generally all-around nice guy, friendly with everyone, never had anyone mad at him. There ain't no justice, let me tell you. Alright, what can you tell me about the others? Zippy laughs, shrugging. Well, they're an eclectic bunch, that's for sure. Where to start? Ung's the spiritual leader here. She's the voice of the Wampoans, I guess. A lot of her close friends are really more of followers, and she's something of a priest for the machine spirits. Maybe it's a cultural thing for someone who grew up here, but it's never called me. Still, she makes a damn fine pot of tea. Ips the muscles, and has an encyclopedic knowledge of cyber and BioWare. Definitely a good guy to have watching your back. Not too friendly, but you know how it is. You get a lot of cyber, people start wondering if you'll tear their arms off. Zippy makes a chopping gesture with one hand. He's got moves straight out of Blood Carnival 3, The Reckoning. Terrible movie, but great fight choreography. There was also that guy with the tattoos. What about Tang? I don't know much about him, but I think he's got some kind of fetish for automation. Found him cooing over some trids of automated delivery drones in a warehouse once. He works with drones. Has a shop called the Blessed Autofab. He was raving about the efficiency of the movement patterns or something. You already know about Tong. Ran sims, BTLs, skill chips. Gan used to be a city planner before he had a nervous breakdown and got involved in statistical analysis. Alright then. Nakamura came from Fukuoka and was interested in entertainment. Trid mostly. Spent a lot of time analyzing subliminals and ads. Interesting. And then there was Magpie. She was the chief decker, hot as hell against ice, and built her own hardware. Salty old woman, though. Never met a woman who was quite as shrill or nasty when she was mad. And she was mad most of the time. Wait, nobody mentioned Magpie to me. When did she die? She didn't. Maybe a month ago, she just up and disappeared. I went to her shop one day and she just wasn't open. Nobody's seen her since. Kind of a pain in the ass, too. She owed me some new analyze software she'd picked up. Hey, look. Obvious suspect. I've never heard of Magpie either. She must be one of the newer Wampoans. If she was the decker, she would have replaced Elder Gao. No surprise there. Gao was older than Shuangdi's terracotta warriors. When I was learning decking from him, he could barely get out of bed. Still, fast as hell in the Matrix style. How can you be new and an elder? Isabel rose her eyes. It's a stupid name. It doesn't actually have much to do with time spent in the community. That has something to do with it, sure, but it's mostly about how skilled you are, how good your connections are, and how much you can help everyone else. Should have called them experts or something. Bingo! That's exactly it. She was only here for about 3 years, but she knew a lot of people all over the Matrix, in Shanghai and Beijing, all kinds of places. That plus her skill meant she was a shoo-in when Gao died. Why would she disappear? No idea. One day she was here, next, poof. At first I thought she was just on vacation, since she had mentioned wanting to see the Kingdom of Hawaii someday, but it didn't feel right. Hawaii. Alright, cool. She would have at least told me she was leaving. It seems mighty suspicious to me. Nobody else seems to care what happened to her, probably because she pissed them all off so bad. Is there any place you think I should start looking? A little odd for her to just disappear, don't you think? Oh, he did just say that, but okay, let's go for it. Of course it's odd. She owed me lunch too, and she was the sort of paid her debts promptly. You might want to check out her shop. It's all locked up, but the other elders have a spare key. Couldn't hurt to look around, and even though Magpie was always butting heads with the other elders, they wouldn't have any reason not to let you in. What do you mean they were butting heads? Magpie and the others never saw eye to eye. She was contrary for the sake of it. Most of the rest had a grand vision for what they wanted this neighborhood to become. Magpie just wanted to deck. She was only an elder because they needed someone with her matrix chops. The last big argument was between her, Ing, Ip, and Nakamura. It was over something relatively trivial. I think Nakamura wanted to expand the Pyretrid business into the Matrix, and she just absolutely refused. Why did she refuse? She sounds like she didn't care for entertainment taking precedence over business. Why did she refuse? She said something about not using up valuable band space for trivial entertainment bullshit. Anyway, it went from there into this rant about how she wasn't going to let Tang expand his drone business any further because it would get too much megacorp attention. They accused her of blocking them just because she could, which is probably true. Lots of screaming. What do you mean, blocking them? Everybody needs her matrix skills for their businesses to run properly. There are other deckers, me, say, or Moj Nebi, but she had the infrastructure. If their project didn't interest her, she wouldn't even give them the time of day. She is a real hardhead about having her time wasted, but she figures if she's not interested in something, it has no value objectively. Kind of a major blind spot, if you ask me. Sounds like she was critical. Yes and no. She was, but since she disappeared, Elder Ip's taken over running the Matrix infrastructure. He's not as good at it as she was, but his experience with drones makes him the best candidate. They wouldn't entrust something like that to anyone who wasn't an elder, so there you go. Hey! What about letting me in? Hey you, do you know something about, her? What can you tell me about Elder Magpie? The one Poen snorts, shrugging his shoulders. That she was a bitch? That I've never met anyone as deliberately contrary as her? There's not much to say. Nobody wanted to hang out with Magpie. Even though she was the newest elder, she acted high and mighty around everyone. She'd block deals and argue against Nakamura and Ing just because she could. Why was she so contrary? It was just her nature. She loved fights and gossip. Any chance to cut somebody else down, she'd take it. I guess I always figured she had some deep-seated insecurities and covered it up by attacking other people. See you later. Anyone else want to talk to me? Hey, Kata! Oh, look, more people. Good. What's up, Kata? Who are you? Selling stuff. This dumpy-looking man is busily hawking a variety of grilled spherical treats of various sizes. Some are sold individually, some are skewered on sticks, and some are packaged up in sets of 4 or 6. A sign on the front of the cart reads, Ketia's 1 yen yatai. A cacophony of small trid screens are attached to the cart, each playing a different trid show. Interest you in some dango? Takoyaki? Maybe a nice nikuman. That's a pork bun with the Japanese twist. Any kind of tasty Japanese treat you can imagine, I've got it. Maybe some curry fish balls are your speed. Kata will give you your heart's desire, providing that the desire is on my menu. Let me have some dango. Fish balls aren't really my thing. Let me have some dango. Your wish is my command, good ma'am. Kata deftly pulls one of the dango sticks out of the cart and drops it on the grill. A small robotic arm slides out from the cart and begins turning the stick until the balls of rice flour are toasted brown color. Lifting them from the grill, Kata dips the entire stick into a tub of sticky brown sauce before handing it to you. The snack has both the sweet and salty flavor reminiscent of sesame seeds and soy. The balls inside are pleasantly warm and surprisingly chewy, a bit like eating raw dough, but without the attendant chalky taste. Kata leans back, studying you intently. The trid projection from his cart cause his face to be lit in a constantly shifting array of rainbow hues. So, what brings you to the One Poet Garden, my friend? Somehow I doubt it's just the street food. Here in a job. Fuck it. I'm looking into the killing of the One Poet elders. Kata shivers, wrapping his arms around his body. I've been hearing a lot about that. Haven't looked too closely, though. None of my business, you know? What can you tell me about the people here? We're tech heads, deckers, riggers, trid pirates, and everything in between. If I had to define this place, I'd say it's Asia's mecca for people like us. As for the elders, I can give you the basics. I'm a small fry, so we're not exactly on social terms. In some kind of crazy tech witch. Tech witch. She summons up spirits and casts spells and works as the spiritual center of the tribe. She's a lot craftier than she seems, too. She has this mother-to-everyone act going on, but I've watched her manipulate people into doing all kinds of stuff they wouldn't normally do. And they thought it was their idea the whole time. Magically, you mean? No, I don't think so. She's just really good with people. Ip's a killer. Addicted to cybernetic implants. He always has to have the newest and freshest gear. The funny thing is, I've never seen him fight. I kind of get the impression he's a coward. He'd rather let one of his buddies handle a problem than do it himself. All I know about Tang is that he loves drones and does a little decking. Frankly, I find him kind of boring. All he talks about is neural networks, dark knowledge, and evolution of machine learning. Like I said, boring. What's with all the Trid screens? Kata beams and gestures excitedly at them. You like them? I love Trid operas. Chinese, Korean, Japanese, Indonesian. It doesn't matter. This way I can watch all of my favorite shows without missing a beat, and I can work at the same time. Pirated Trid is my other business. I rip the streams in the Matrix, tap right into the corporate feeds, and resell them on a chip. Resell them on chip out here. Kita's face falls a bit, and his enthusiasm wanes. I wish I could pay the bills, but my food cart's a lot better at that. I don't know why, but most of the other Wampoans seem to like Sim over Trid. They don't know what they're missing, though. One episode of 1,000 Cranes of Autumn, and they'd be hooked for life. I'm just at the part where Orin has convinced her love to Takayama, but he's got to get his mech suit out to the front lines on Mars, so he can't be with her. Downright heartbreaking, I tell you. That sounds like an interesting show, all right. Yeah. I mean, I've done the thing where I think I've had up to like... I think the max number of Twitch streams I've had going at the same time were 8. And you miss stuff, yes. It's the sort of thing where it's selective attention. You know, you just start... You get surface. But with the right type of show, which... Going by what he's doing, he's talking like... It sounds like it's soap opera type deal. Those shows are actually designed... Oh, interesting. So a thing about soap operas is they're actually partially designed to be able to be watched while you're distracted and doing other things. So that you can do other things. These are daytime television shows. I mean, like, they are for, like, while you're at work or you're at home taking care of house stuff. And you can watch the show, and that's why the plots are so slow in some of them. Is because, you know, if you're busy, like, you know, cleaning or working on your Excel sheet and you're only glancing up once every 2-3 minutes, they try to make sure not too much but not 20 at once. Fair enough. Fair point. Eyes twinkling, Keita leans forward in breathless excitement. Oh, you have no idea. 312 episodes chronicling a noble mech pirate and the tumultuous love affair he has with a space station governor's daughter. The pathos, the majesty. The Battle of Lagrange 1 spans 5 episodes just by itself. For some reason, I guess, it just didn't resonate with the wider public. I don't know why. Who doesn't want to see a Trid show about giant flying robots, love, betrayal, and spies? I've got to stop myself before I get carried away. Was there something else you needed? I like him. Got any thoughts on the murders? Yeah. Ignore them. Kata shrugs indifferently. I saw the crowd down at Oops, sorry. I hope that didn't actually make noise. I saw the crowd down at Tong Century Carnival earlier tonight, but I didn't know the guy very well. I'm a Trid fan. He liked The Sims. Not a lot of crossover between us. Shit. You do not consume the same media I consume. We don't talk. Okay. Demergo. Hello. This man has a tired, world-weary demeanor about him. Let's go. World-weary demeanor about him. His eyes track your movements with a penetrating, critical precision. Something about him, the lines about his eyes perhaps, makes you suspect he's seen a lot of terrible things happen. He lifts his cup of soy calf as you approach. Let me guess. You're the freelancers the elders are paying to look into the murders around here. How'd you know? Just curious. You've got the right kind of eyes, like you're looking for something and don't seem to trust anyone. Outsiders don't generally wander around Wampoa Garden without an escort, I guess. Locals don't make them feel too welcome unless they've been invited, and there's only one reason to be inviting Shadowrunners out here. Call me Demergo. I'm not one of the Wampoans, but I've been here long enough to know they don't think twice about me being... I've been here long enough that they don't think twice about me being here. Demergo drains the last of his soy calf in a large gulp. So what have you found so far? What's it to you? You're awful curious for a random guy. Professional curiosity. I used to be with the New York Police Department as part of their thaumaturgical research division. Part of the CSI branch, except I did the magical investigation while the other guys pulled prints and checked blood samples. Hello! Hi! Can we talk? Demergo tosses the soy calf cup toward the nearby garbage can. It bounces around the rim and rolls inside. When I hear about shit like this happening, I keep my ear to the ground. Old habits, you know? It occurs to me, why put on a New York accent? I'm actually from here. So why aren't you investigating it? Seems like you're more cut out for this job than I am. You're a long way from home, Demergo. Okay, so... I'm kind of curious. Sure I am. And I like it that way. I got burned out on all the blood, murder, and death. Been here since '54, working freelance. It's hard when you don't know anybody, but magical detectives are pretty thin on the ground, even in Hong Kong, so I do okay. Elder Ng asked me to look into the killings after the first murder. She couldn't afford my fee, though, so I took a pass. It's not just the money, either. Demergo shudders, folding his arms across his chest. You see that stuff day after day, you pay a price. It eats away at you. You know what it's like to feel all that sickness and anger every day? To be asked to pick up a murder weapon and relive somebody's death? Feel it going into your neck, pleading in the voice of a dead woman for her killer to spare you? These days, I'd rather interrogate the living, thanks. What are you talking about? That sounds awful. All things considered, that could be useful. That sounds awful. Also, that could be useful. I don't know how sympathetic I feel like being, because I'm like, that could be useful. But we got some information. I mean, he already didn't want to, and we can't afford him, probably. Awful. It's more than awful. It's a goddamn nightmare is what it is. One I couldn't wake up from for a long time. Sometimes you have to cut and run. Start fresh. At least now I can pick my own jobs. I can read objects. It's called psychometry, a little trick I managed to pick up. Don't really know how. I hold something, I can tell you what happened to it, who owned it, how it killed someone, if someone loved it, or was afraid of it. Useful, but it'll tax your heart. And before you ask, no. I'm not going to read anything you find. I already told Ng I didn't want any part of this. You want advice? I'll give you that, but I'm not getting drawn in further than that. So, aside from that, what is it? Is there anything I can help you with? Oh, what can you tell me about the Wumpoans? I don't know much. Even though I've been here almost 2 years, I'm an outsider. They don't really accept anyone who's not as much of a tech nut as they are. I'm just a crazy mage that lives down the road. Demergo pauses and looks off into the distance as he collects his thoughts. With my purple contact lenses. Ip's got some heavy-duty cyberware. Basically an enforcer for the rest of the council. He doesn't seem to set much policy. Ng is a shaman that worships magic spirits. It's all a bunch of hokum if you ask me. Magic is magic. Whatever you want to call the source is fine by me, but don't ask me to believe in the great spirit of electronics. As for everybody else, they tend to be an okay bunch, a bit strange, but that's fringe culture for you. They scrounge tech, rebuild it, sell it off. Some of them even have their own auto-fab shops. Their stuff's pretty high quality, too. People from all over Asia come to shop here if they need something rare or unusual. Tight-knit little community, all things considered. What do you know about the murders? Tong wasn't afraid when he died. He was caught by surprise. Let's go with, what do you know about the murders? They started a couple of weeks ago. Eldergan was the first to go. That's when Ng asked if I could look into them. He was ripped apart. Arms wrenched out of their sockets, skin flayed away with a razor-sharp knife. The rest have been the same. Whatever did it sure didn't care about it being a clean death. Demergo lowers his voice, leaning in toward you so that only you can hear. Funny thing is, the Hong Kong police force was out here a few weeks before that, maybe a month ago, tops. I know that doesn't seem like much, but the Wampoans don't usually let the police in here. That by itself is odd enough, but it gets even stranger. Ooh, do tell. The officers were loaded for bear, too. Big guns and heavy armor with NBC seals. The works. They went into the parking garage near here, and there was some kind of gunfight. Never made it back out. Then, when backup showed, the Wampoans chased them away. Why would they let cops in and chase them away? That's exactly the kind of question you should be asking, and that the elders refused to answer when I asked. Demergo shrugs. Go take a look for yourself if you want. Watch out, though. A gang's taken up residence in there dealing drugs and BTL. They call themselves the Red Spear. Not too violent if you don't push them, but be careful what you say. Alright, Tong wasn't afraid when he died. He was caught by surprise. Demergo arches an eyebrow. That's not what I would have expected. With the amount of mess at each scene, the victims should have left behind a hell of a lot of fear and pain. Are you sure? Very sure. Tong died tonight, so the astral signature hasn't had time to fade. There was only a sense of perfunctory accomplishment. Sorry guys, give me a moment. Alright, after I read this part, I'm gonna have to take a short break, get some stuff to drink, and possibly see what's going on with my throat. So as not to mess with things, and it should be fine in a bit. Then it sounds like it wasn't a crime of passion. A planned attack would have that kind of resonance, in my experience. It's possible the gore show is to throw off anyone looking for the actual reason. Demergo closes his eyes and starts to nod. Yeah, if I wanted to kill someone and get away with it, I'd try and point the finger at some kind of monster. Really? Because that's what Eng's doing. Demergo opens his eyes and smiles a thin, humorless grin. Basic investigation 101. It's usually the simplest explanation, but don't discount other possibilities. You think the mess wasn't incidental? It's a possibility. Ask yourself this. If the mutilation happened after Tong's death, why would a killer perform that kind of ritual? Serial killers who engage in that kind of ritual don't feel perfunctory about it, in my experience. It tends to feel more like they're taking communion. It's a religious or sexual feeling most of the time. If this didn't feel that way, I don't think the killer is actually pathological. And apparently I decided, I'm done talking to you now, bye. You're just weird. And actually, that's a bit right. Insofar as serial murders, the type of crime scene that's left behind would point to what's referred to as a disorganized killer. I watch way too many cop shows and read way too much true crime shit at the time. Look at all these people to talk to. But before I do, let's take a moment to have a bit of a break, get a drink, that kind of thing. You guys too, stretch your legs. I should have thought about this sooner, but I didn't, so oops. Yeah, so it'll be about Oh, 5 minutes or so. See you in a bit. Alright, I am back. I only have like about a half an hour left to go. We'll see how it goes for the next bit. I may have to, I mean, it was a possibility it was going to be a mini stream anyway, but I got into it, so. But I may actually, I didn't expect to, I didn't really think through how much like talking I would end up doing because of the investigation. So yeah, that was my mistake. But yeah, I almost turned off the wrong thing. Okay, there we go. So we'll do a little bit more of the wandering around in here and some more investigating. Here we go. This game is so pretty, the music's so pretty. But depending on the next like little bit, I may have to stop for the night. I'm sorry. Just my voice is trying to hurt, and that's not good. Alright, the Min Vong, the owner of the shop, barely looks up from his PDA while greeting you. His tone is one of immense boredom. Welcome to Min Vong Matrix Materials, aka MVMM. What can I get you? Show me what you have for sale. Oh, this kind of stuff. Drones, mechanical stuff, ESPs, Dobermans. Any of these particularly good look? Like, are they good deals? I don't know. Alright. Drug mule? Oh yeah, now I remember. Oh wait, exit. See you later. Okay, so he's just a vendor. That's good. Anyone else talkable? There's that lady over here. She... Alright. Hey, Winkei... Quack. Welcome, ma'am. Welcome to Quack Atelier, home of the finest clothing in Whampoa Garden. I am the owner, Master Tailor, Winkei Quack. How may I serve you today? I didn't expect Whampoa Garden to have tailors in it. Show me what you have. Many people don't. There's a mistaken impression that we Whampoans are only interested in technology and the Matrix. But even technologists need clothing, don't they? And many of us gravitate towards lines of work where added protection is required. I myself am a material scientist, as well as a keen follower of fashion trends. What kind of material science? Fiber related, of course. Primarily aramid fibers, graphene composites, and dilatants. It affords me a certain unique perspective when designing clothing that's not only beautiful, but defensive as well. I specialize in high fashion body armor, similar to the kind crafted by Securitech or Vashon Island, but with a much more personal touch. Show me what you have. Nice. Can't I preview? What? No, no, no. I'm not doing that. But that's an upgrade. But I don't want that. Okay. So another vendor. Do I get to come back here? Rainbow. Hi, Rainbow. Let's talk. This woman sports brilliantly hued hair that shifts colors, scintillating with every passing moment. She is powerfully built, a natural athlete, or someone who works out a great deal. Notably, a large shotgun rests on an arcade cabinet next to her. You have my attention. She affords you a short glance as you approach. When she speaks, you note a particularly lyrical accent to her voice. Something I can help you there with, friend? You're thrown off my game, and I'm trying to beat my best score. That's some interesting hair you have. Tank Europa? I haven't seen one of these cabinets in years. Her hair's pretty. Well, it sure isn't the reason they call me Rainbow. Rainbow Smite. Well, sure isn't... Well, sure isn't it the reason they call me Rainbow. Rainbow Smite. She kicks the foot towards the shotgun laying against the cabinet. That shooter's why there's also a Smite. After a few moments, Rainbow's game is suddenly over, her tank obliterated by a barrage of air-to-ground missiles. She hisses her breath in through clenched teeth. Piss on your ma! A right robbery that was! Right then. Rainbow shakes her head again and turns to face you fully. You don't seem like the Wampoans. They're all a mite touched, yeah? Maybe you are too, but you don't advertise it like they do. What's your story? Here in a job. I'm looking into the murders that have been happening. You know. Ah, that's some nasty work. Bodies hacked up, chunks bitten out of them. Make sure you're loaded for something big and ugly, that's for certain. Where are you from? I can't place the accent. Born and raised in Dublin, down to the banks of Liffey, spent most of my early life there working security on sacred places. You know, historical sites, undeveloped land. The grave movement was big in those days. It was a bit like being a park ranger, but it sure didn't... but sure didn't it beat some dead-end desk job. I spent a lot of time around County Dublin and Wicklow. I always loved animals, and I found out being a ranger put me in close with them. It was a good time, yeah? Making sure the budding new species like the bogies and centaurs didn't upset the ecology of Wicklow National Park much. Also kept the nastier bits like the whoop. Ah, thank you! The eat whiskey from running amok across populated areas. What's that? Oh wait, isn't that a demon horse? I'm gonna go with the eat whiskey because I don't think she knows stuff like that. Nah, that. Okay, so yeah, eat whiskey. Whiskey's just the word for water, which is how whiskey got its name. It's a cannibal horse, basically. If you've never heard of an each whiskey, be glad. It drags you into bogs to kill you. Some people call them kelpies on account of the water plants they pop out of. Ah, kelpies. That I do know. Anyways, anyone who's ever played any D&D does. Anyway, as I was saying, problem was, I started to develop this wee knack, just a small thing. I keep magic from working when I'm around. Spells don't go. Spirits fall apart. And the paracritters get real feisty, yeah? She actually looks like someone I used to know, like her hair is awesome, and I would want that hair color. To make things worse, this was around the time Liam O'Connor threw his coup and formed Tirnanog. With all this fancy talk about elves and ancient magic, 'twas a bit scandalous to have a woman guarding ancient sites that wasn't just mundane, but also killed magic around her. So I got fired. You're older than Tirnanog? Bang on! And I don't look a day over 25, do I? Rainbow flexes one arm, grinning widely. I am Irish, not one of them noggins. Pack of punkers, a lot of them. Always go on about their ancestral lands and the glory of the past and all that bullshit. I saw them kick dozens of old Irish families off their land just because their ears weren't pointy enough or they don't meet some stupid arbitrary criteria of old nobility. It was that kind of thing that brought back the IRA, just like in the bad days of the Troubles. The bad old days of the Troubles. The skivers in the new tier didn't pay for the land they took. They just had a pack of bullies with guns. Rainbow scrunches her face up into a disgusted sneer, and Mock spits on the ground. I've always been sympathetic to the little guy in a fight. They offered to pay for my help, so I said yeah. Simple as that. So, you became a terrorist? Well, you know. Don't be so dramatic. They fixed me up with a cyber stitcher and gave me a lot of the kit I've got in me now, in exchange for going overseas to work from. Smuggling, running guns, making contacts in Europe. Same kind of shite all revolutionary groups do. Seeing as how me own fam got kicked out of the house, I was glad to do it. I still do work for 'em these days, but there's a lot less of it. Late day crack down on dissidents, but good. What are you doing in Wampoa Garden, then? Me? I'm a bit of a big game hunter these days. I get into strange places, look for some kind of paracritter I've not seen before, and then I put a bullet in it. Only the nasty ones, though. No point in hunting a talus cat or such. It's only things like gargoyles, barghests, and whatnot. All the work I did with them in my youth does a good job of keeping me alive. I was out in Jakarta last year, hunting one of them Indonesian vampires. You ever heard of them? Call them Layak or Penanggalans, depending on who you ask. Their heads and guts come out of the body cavity and they fly around like a giant messy pile of pasta. Rainbow bares her teeth and pantomimes floating around. Took me a solid 2 months to track her down, but I did. Once the job was done, I asked myself, okay, Rainbow, where's the next place in East Asia to find some action? Where's the best place? So, Hong Kong it was. All the key what's-this here mean the bigger concentration of odd critters than you'd usually find in the city. Been spending a lot of time down in the storm drains these days. Heard rumors of a rat king down there, where a mess of devil rats got all tied together into some kind of big, awful rat beast. Haven't tracked it down yet, but I figure it's only a matter of time, yeah? She passed the barrel of her shotgun effectively. See you later, Rainbow. Rainbow Smite! Can we be friends? Alright. Now, I have 2 lines of inquiry. And they are... get the key to Magpie's shop, search for killer in Wampoa Garden, find out what the Red Spirit Rangers know. Alright, I'm gonna actually... I forgot that I can ask them. So I'm gonna ask them for the key. See what's going on over there. Ah! Go, go, go! Is there anything we can do for you, Spark? Why did you let the Hong Kong police force into Wampoa Garden last month? Why didn't you tell me about... Alright, why didn't you tell me about Elder Magpie disappearing, and why didn't you let the Hong Kong... Okay, why did you let them into them? Tang is taken aback by the question. For a long moment he says nothing. When his composure does return, he speaks deliberately and with great care. We generally don't let the police into Wampoa Garden, it's true, but in this case we made an exception. The police were very polite and offered to look the other way while some of our deals with the Loho Joa pirates. They also made it clear that if we refused, they might not only take an interest in our deals with the pirates, they would call in the Special Duties Unit and force their way in. We have repelled the Hong Kong police force before when they tried to push us around. We could probably drive off the Special Duties Unit as well, but the cost in blood would be too high. Ing shrugs noncommittally. Since they weren't hunting a Wampoan, we saw no reason to refuse their request. Who were they here for? They didn't say, and we didn't ask. The Hong Kong police force isn't exactly forthcoming about their business, and we found that the less we know about their interests, the safer Wampoa Garden is. When you take an interest in the police, they return the favor. As far as I know, they went into the parking garage, there was a gunfight, and the police never came out. More showed up a few hours later looking for their missing officers. We didn't let those in, though. We just delivered what was left of the bodies to them. Why didn't you let them in? We were willing to allow the group of 4 in because they asked politely. When the reinforcements arrived, there were over 30 of them. We couldn't risk the rest of the police setting up camp in our streets. It would have been a circus and disrupted our lives and business. Okay, what about Elder Magpie? Why would we have? Her departure from the Wampoans isn't related to your investigation. It happened before the killings began. I'm certain she's just off sulking somewhere. Ng's tone is profoundly indifferent. No doubt she'll come waltzing back next month, all full of attitude that life dared go on without asking her permission. If she does, we will welcome her back, despite our problems with her behavior. Her skills make her extremely valuable. I've taken over maintenance of our Matrix infrastructure in her absence, but I'm nowhere near her level. The best I can do is ensure nothing breaks down until she returns. She could be responsible for the killings. Not mentioning her seems like a major oversight. I'd like to have a look around her shop. Do you have the key? Do I want to tip that hand yet? In a way, I kind of do. Because that's actually a deflection. Ling recoils, expression incredulous. Magpie? I doubt that very highly. Whatever character flaws she might have had, she was a pacifist when it came to physical violence. What evidence do you have of that? Well, for one, she really wanted me removed from the Council of Elders. She said I was too prone to violence. Ip snorts, shaking his head in annoyance. I guess she never saw the times I kept the Red Dragon from robbing her blind. I agree. Magpie would not resort to murder over the personal disputes. The entire idea is ridiculous. I'd like to take a look around her shop anyway. Do you have the key? Yes, but there's a lot of sensitive equipment in there, including our community servers. We don't let anyone who's not one of the Wampoans in there. Why would you need to look in there? Decking 4. Magpie's automated systems might have access records for the killer's wireless devices. If I can get a dump of the access logs, I might be able to find the killer. If only. Charisma 3. Listen, you wanted me to find a killer. If I'm going to do that, I have to explore every possibility. Very well. Take the key and look around. Just don't break anything or shut the servers off. Investigate the jack point. Was there anything else? I'll be going now. Alright. So we have 2 places to go. We have the jack point and we have the garage. And I am actually going to have to actually call it. I realized there was no combat tonight. Awkward. I normally try to space things out a bit. I should have possibly thought about the implications of, like, I'm going to investigate a serial murder. There may be a lot going on. But, yeah. Save game. Save. Alright. But yeah. Basically, it's probably notable. My voice is trying to kind of cut out, and that's not really a good thing for me to do, especially since, like, in 2 days I'm going to be doing it again. So I should actually do what I can to take care of my voice. But interesting stuff, no? We've got some suspects. I don't know. No spoilers, please, but I'm interested in this. I'm thinking that, like, Ung is a suspect. Magpie, maybe not. There's the cop. And then to find out what was going on with that other person. So those are the, like, few threads they have going. I'm kind of leaning towards Ung. My understanding is that she's taking, was it her or Tang who's taking over? Not sure. But anyway, the guy with the Trid operas and stuff kind of had a point on that, and that would be interesting. So, yes. Now, I want to thank everyone for watching. And if you enjoy what you're watching, please hit that follow button. My streaming days are Wednesdays, Fridays, and Sundays. Sundays are the Secret World Sundays, and I have completed the South Africa plotline for now. So it's going to be back to sort of tooling around, probably some more Transylvania running around, some more scenarios and stuff like that. And depending on if people are interested, I might be able to run people through, like, some of the low-level dungeons and stuff like that. Wednesdays are pretty much a wild card. And Fridays are free-to-play Friday, where I pick a game a month, a free-to-play game every month. And this month I'm going to be setting up the poll for next month. So in order to track that, go to my Twitter account, which is also Glitchontwitch, and you can be kept up to date on that, and also my stream schedule and changes in that direction. I do appreciate how patient everyone's been with some of that for me, because lately things have been all over the place as far as, like, my life schedule, and so that has affected the stream schedule. I want to thank everyone for all of their patience with that, and I also want to thank everyone for watching tonight, and I do hope that everyone has an excellent, excellent night. Bye, everyone.